It's Saturday and the time is 1 o'clock. Chibunga's ready, so the show's about to start. The beat's steady, so the flow got a beat too. You like my intro, so I made one just for you.
Thank you, Danny.
Chillmonger, he be from the north. 33 questions, you got no other choice but to check him out and feel his vibe. He got one of the hottest shows alive. Have a seat and tune in. Chill's ready, so let's begin. 33 fire questions. Chillmonger made these questions. Please check out these questions. Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't you miss it. Don't miss it. Peace.
You are watching the most entertainment part of Saturday. I know Star Wars Celebration is happening, but Chillmonger Appreciation is happening here. And with me, joining me, the panel that we got is the neighbor to the north on my right side. Below, we've got Scotty from Hawk's Holocrons, and then we've got the Jaded Fanboy. Question number 1 of 33, because we've all played the game before. If you're new here, I ask questions, they answer them. These are not trivia questions with actual answers. They're fun questions, such as Luke or Leia, who's the evil twin? Luke.
Okay, Leia, because she's female and all women are evil. So come on.
That is not how I thought we'd begin this stream.
We're a minute and 30 seconds in. The Jaded Fanboy has
attacking me already.
Hence why I've not been here for so long.
That is not why you've not been here for so long. I've been trying to stretch out and find new guests, which I have successfully done. But it's good to have you back, Jaded Fanboy.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Leia too, but for different reasons. I don't know. Did she know that she was force sensitive? Or did she just hide this for the longest time?
No, because Luke tells her.
And then we also watched in this most recent episode of the Kenobi show where she's telling her cousin, "You're really insecure about yourself, and you just say things." And like she kind of might have a little psychic way of knowing what's happening in people's heads, right, Hawks?
Yeah, I don't know if she's picking up on it yet, but like obviously the force is influencing her. I think it'd be cool if they touched on like her kind of getting a hint of like maybe a thought in his head that she hears, or just some little clue that like she's getting more influence from somewhere else. That'd be dope.
We got Isaac in the building, Terrence in the building, Matt in the building. If any of you three want to join, you, let me know.
So wait a minute. You're saying that you think that Leia might have like a random wild little hints of the force use?
Yeah, and she wouldn't even really like have to even understand it, but we as the audience...
Wouldn't Luke be the same thing, considering he's even more stronger in the force? But that was never really established either.
Yeah, I just think it'd be cool if they did.
Oh, you think it'd be cool if they did?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, just like as a what if, I guess. And for
like
me,
like she doesn't realize, but it just.
But we would see
us
it.
fans will pick it up.
We'd see it, but she wouldn't.
Yep,
know.
she would be clueless.
Intuition type thing, and we're going, no. That's okay.
I almost kind of picked up on it with how many times she kept asking him, like, "Oh, if you're a Jedi, prove it. Okay, prove it. Okay, prove it." Yeah. Like,
do
that was it
right
Jedi
there, too, right? Like,
yeah, but
she wouldn't have had any sort of exposure to Jedis, right? It's just what Bail.
No, and I don't think she's
they're just myth. They're
levitating.
Just legend by this point, wouldn't they be?
Yeah.
Well, Organa wouldn't be keeping secrets from her though. And when she does the thing that on R2-D2, long ago you helped fight along my father in the Clone Wars, she knows who he is at some point in her life, which is what makes this kind of complicated. But we're not going to go there yet.
I think if she ever got any little hint, she'd be asking every single day. She'd be asking Organa every single day. I know there's something up with me, man. You got to tell me, like, I'm not an Organa. Who am I? Kind of thing.
Yeah, she knows
why does this Jedi want to protect me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Second question for 33. What word was that droid who delivered the twin saying? Because this is what I hear. Uba. Uba.
I think that's what I heard too. It's been a while.
You're not going to do the voice though, huh? I'm just going to be the only guy voice acting.
Do it.
No, you're voicing all this.
What did it sound like, neighbor? I don't know. I don't know what your answer is.
I agree. It sounds very, very similar to Uba.
I haven't seen this show, but I'm guessing Uchiwawa.
Remember in Revenge of the Sith when Luke and Leia were getting born, there was a like droid giving the birth. Not giving the birth. What do you call it when you collect the birth? Is there a word for that?
Oh shit!
When you collect the birth,
not a handmaiden, not a
The
handmaiden.
midwife. The
Midwife.
Yeah.
The droid was like a midwife.
Let me just collect this baby for you.
In some language, it translates to baby
Yes.
collector. It's somewhere in the world. If the offer is open, I'd like to join your panel. I will send you the invitation right now. What'd you say, Jaded Fanboy?
I said I didn't see the show, but I'm guessing it was Uchiwawa.
It was Revenge of the Sith, man, in the third movie.
I like the Big Timers answer. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, I don't get that reference. Is that like a song?
That's the song. Uchiwali? You don't know that song?
She Wally Wally, she bang bang.
She bang bang. Yeah.
Oh, again.
Big Timers featuring somebody. I can't remember.
Trina.
I'm old. Slip and Slide. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I remember I try and keep that in like, some sort of repressed memories of rap, but
from high school.
A droid calmly guiding Padme to push. It was Uba, Uba. The droid also said Oido for boy and Oida for girl. Look at the Star Wars nerds in the building.
See what I mean,
bro?
This is why I don't talk lore, because people are...
Yo, I'll be corrected real fast.
The third question. How's the new Kenobi theme? I haven't noticed it. I think they played it during the credits, but if you were to play it to me right now, I wouldn't be able to figure out what the Kenobi's identify the Kenobi theme. So
no, it's not as like distinct as like the Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian. Like those were like stuck in your head. This was very very subtle.
Yeah,
very John Williams sounding Star Wars track. So kind of blended in, but I listened to the one that they played live at Celebration. It's really good.
That live celebration, like I have a lot to say about the formatting of it. I would say they're doing better than DC Fandom. However, there's areas where they could improve.
For sure.
Like
I might do dedicated
like
video.
Light, like it's tighter, it's more laid back. What do you mean by improve?
I would say that the hosts need to know that they are not what anyone is there to see. And like that first day, they introduced all 6 of them, and I recognized Hector Navarro, and I'm like, wait, I know you from YouTube. That's cool. But like they were like, oh, come on, guys, come on, fans. You can do it the first time. Welcome to Star Wars Celebration. People will be interested, but you can't keep asking for the pop, asking for the fan cheers. It's a little bit much. That's just one thing I'm nitpicking, though.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
We got T-Virus Terrence in the building. Hello, sir. Hello there.
Yeah. Hello. How you doing?
Is there a question that you wanted to answer? With Luke or Leia is the evil twin?
Oh, after seeing little Leia in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I'm gonna have to go with Leia because she was extremely intelligent for her age, and there was like that one scene where she was smiling when she was in the woods, and I was like, I pictured that she did a lot of bad stuff that we don't know about off camera. So
she's a cute kid though, so we're not gonna say too much about her. You know what I dislike? I was on Twitter and I saw people posting like, hey, shout out to this kid, and I saw people retweeting the photo of her with the kid Luke, and I'm like, let's not do that. They don't need that attention. Like, what happened to Jake Lloyd? What happens to everyone who's young in these things? Macaulay Culkin, anyone young, don't give them this sort of attention. Just let them age gracefully. I know we like them and we appreciate them. I don't even want to know the kid's name.
Well,
let them age.
The girl from E.T., she did okay, and
Drew Barrymore.
She ended up in rehab.
Did okay
at like 11 years old.
And
Drew
the guy
Barrymore?
that was
Drew Barrymore.
The guy from Happy Days, who became a director.
You named 2. Like, think
Ron
of all
Howard.
the rest.
Well, no, I'm saying there are some. It's just
There's
that.
some. Like
there are
Miranda
certain...
Cosgrove did good. She was in iCarly in the Jack
Wasn't
Black
Macaulay
movie.
Culkin like a heroin addict?
But her he was. I think he's better now. But her co-star, from Sam and Cat. What was her name? Jeanette McCurdy. She is out of Hollywood. She wants nothing to do with Hollywood. She wrote a book about how her mom put her in all these movies. Child actors, we need to protect them. And
one of the articles that the Illuminati released about the Acolyte, they're looking for identical twins, and they're not 100% yet if it's going to be 2 individual characters, or if it's like the Ashley Olsen, and they're going to use identical twins to play the same characters, so that there's like this one kid's not just being drilled over and over and over again. But there are like heavy child labor laws involved in shows like this and stuff. So
do the child labor laws encourage just getting twins to do the role?
Because it's less stress on the individual kid.
Well, also at that young an age, they're only allowed so much time on set. So that's why the Ashley twins specifically needed them, because there was so much screen time that you couldn't have one baby. You would have to limit their screen time.
Because they were literally like babies. You know what I mean?
And also Chillmonger, she was extremely intelligent. Like I could picture, I would just walk into the room and she would just be able to tell me everything about my life, including the future. And then I would just never return. I'd be like, I think I left my jacket outside and just never come back.
Question number 4 of 33. What did you think of that 4-minute prequel montage to start off the Kenobi show? I thought it was pretty fun. It was needed to show me what you're emphasizing, so I know what to expect in the show. Good stuff over there by Star Wars.
I liked it. I like the way it transitioned into the footage from like the execution of Order 66, like right off the bat. So you got like a continuation of the refresh as well, and then it goes straight to Tatooine, and we know exactly what's happening. Unlike
a fan edit, they could really isolate and separate the music, the background music, from the actual scenes, because they had the original raw footage. They spliced it up only the way they could. Terrence?
I can't.
The opening was amazing. My only complaint with that is I thought it was too short. Like that should have been at least like 10 minutes, because when I started watching it, and I will just remember the execute Order 66, right? And then somehow like the Jedi robe appeared on me, and then I had my own lightsaber and I was battling, with them. Like that's how immersed I was in the scene. And then when it said like 10 years later, then I was like, I don't understand. Like I was on the ground with the gunshot, just the hole in me, and
I can't take you seriously.
Yeah, it was a jarring thing. It was crazy.
Scotty, what did you think of that 4-minute prequel?
It was dope, and I agree about the transition in that first scene inside the temple. It was like a one shot, I think, too. It like panned around to the door as the clone came through. You saw the guy in the background fighting other clones. I was really trying to like look and investigate. Like, do I know Jedi? Have I seen this person in the prequels? Yep. Yeah, because they're running like over the top of a potential prequel scene that we wouldn't even know they're above. You know what I mean? Like, I love that stuff. You could tell that one of the kids was Reva right away. They had the braids, so like they're gonna play.
I thought so, but I didn't know, and they didn't confirm it in the first
100%.
What makes you think it's 100% though?
Because they focused on her, and she was the one that like led the kids out of the place. Like she was the one after the Jedi had fallen. She may have been the oldest of the group, but she's definitely the one that like turned and took them all to safety. I have crazy theories. I don't really want to go into it right now because we'll be here all day. But
just correct me if I'm wrong. She's a new character, right? Like she was non-existent
third sister.
comic.
Yeah. Third sister,
which means her fate could be undecided. She could either die, maybe turn to the good side. We don't know. I would love for the character to continue because more people with lightsabers is better in Star Wars for me. But I can also see how she's expendable and she could die, which brings stakes to the show. Reva could go or not. Who knows?
Yeah, Reva's a cool character. I mean, she don't be listening, but when she chopped off that individual's hand, I started clapping. I'm like, see, that's cool right there. Chop off the hand.
Ashley says she's definitely the little girl.
Yeah.
And I listen to Ashley.
She's the first Inquisitor with the last name too. I don't think that's for no reason.
What was her last name? Reva what?
The actor has said it before during interviews. I can't remember. But
there's something there.
No other Inquisitor has a last name. Most Jedi, they don't even tell us their last name. I think it's going to be a sibling somewhere down the road. But time will tell. They have this show called Grammar Rodeo that everyone's talking about. It's a post Return of the Jedi for kids between the ages of 10 and 12. We get anything, man.
I also saw the kids show just announced. I don't have a question here, so I'll bring it up now. But there's a kids show called Jedi Adventures. It happens in the High Republic era. we will have Yoda instructing them.
I was just gonna say, like, the high. Sorry to cut you off. The high when you were mentioning, like, she could be, she gave the last name, but we can't remember what it is. But could that be linked to someone from the High Republic era, right? Like, because they're cool. Planning on doing stuff with that. Could it be, that sort of lineage that you kind of like?
My only problem is that the lineage Jedi are not supposed to have compassion and like marry. They're not supposed to, like, what's the word that what I'm trying to get at? Mates. They're not supposed to do that and have children. That's wrong. Unless they can do it.
They're not supposed to be emotional beings. Like, they're just supposed to be
attachments.
Yeah.
So that's a strange thing. If her last name is, like, let's just say Groundwalker, Reva Groundwalker. Oh, just like in the High Republic, we had another Groundwalker. They must be related. I'd be like, wait a minute. That means that you were a bad Jedi back in the High Republic era because you were getting down and procreating.
Well, that was Luke's father. I mean,
procreating.
I got the word, okay.
But hey,
what's up, JD?
I would honestly, if I were in charge, right, and Reva was working by my side, I would have to kill her just because I would consider her more of a liability than being helpful because she doesn't listen. And I think that could be very problematic in the field.
And she knows Vader's name. Wasn't there a comic book where Jocasta knew his name? Jocasta knew the librarian. She said his name, and he goes, okay, cool. I'm going to kill you. And all the stormtroopers who heard, I'm going to kill you too. You know why I know that? Because I'm a Star Wars nerd. And I
got into a debate this morning with somebody already about the fact that, like, the Inquisitors should not know that it's Anakin. And I'm like, well, first of all, if anybody's going to know who he is, they are, because they were gifted to him by Palpatine, and Palpatine would definitely just be like, oh, and by the way, he's Anakin Skywalker. Like, Palpatine would do that just to add that extra little layer of, like, now Vader has to not only make them obey him, but they also know all this information about him. And then the person came back with a comic panel of when the Grand Inquisitor is fighting him in the archives, and he's about to kill him, and he's like, who are you? The Grand Inquisitor said that. So they're using that as evidence, is like, oh, nobody knew his name. And then I'm having to explain to this person that fight in the archive is pre-Palpatine gifting the Inquisitors. Grand Inquisitors never met Vader. I don't even think anyone knew he existed until he's introduced to them by Palpatine, because Palpatine originally just sent him to go get the Kyber crystal, put the suit on him, sent him. So nobody really knew anything about Vader until Palpatine wanted them to, man. Honestly.
And I would want everybody to know who I am, chill. I was like, no, Terrence is back. No secrecy.
Well, he wants Anakin to die. He's trying to separate himself from that Jedi. But
Jaded Fanboy, in this new Kenobi series, is it possible that Maz Kanata, that yellow character played by Lupita Nyong'o, who was in the sequel trilogy, remember that, Maz Kanata? Could we possibly get a cameo of her in Kenobi? She's old.
Oh, that the one with the big glasses? Oh, please, no, please.
Why not?
Please, no. She was annoying and irrelevant in the movie.
But she knew the Force.
Huh?
She knew the Force.
Yeah, she knew the Force. Hey, how's this? Why don't you in the show explain how she got the lightsaber as opposed to, not now. We'll talk about it later.
This is later. This is going to explain.
Okay. Yeah. If her cameo in the show is her explaining it, then fine. But then again, it wouldn't be because Luke is still a young boy. So again, her character's irrelevant. Her character was I hated that character.
You see, what's going to happen, Wayne? What's going to happen, everybody, is that she's going to put a tracker on that lightsaber. Just in case you lose it, I'm going to put a tracker on it. Thanks. Okay, and Kenobi says goodbye to Maz Kanata. Years later, that lightsaber goes missing. She's the one to show up and collect it.
Why would she think of putting a tracker on it?
Because good writing, that's why.
Good writing.
Anyone else want to comment on this one? Maz Kanata cameo?
I got bad news for him. They just they went over a bunch of High Republic Phase 2 stuff, and she'll be in that. There's a character in the High Republic that can't stand her as well. Hey, maybe you'll get along with that character. Who knows?
Will she be in the Leslie Headland show?
Not sure, man, but I really like Maz Kanata. I think there's a lot of stuff we don't know about her. Her castle that everybody respects her in. They're all bounty hunters. They're all, you know, bad dudes, but she's running the show there. So I just am curious where she established that gravitas, I guess. Like she's not, there's no army, there's no generals. People just respect her. So
yeah. I mean, she obviously has access to Jedi equipment. So I mean, she has to have some sort of, you know, stature amongst.
You just made me think of that too, man. Like, why would Obi-Wan, like, so let's hypothetically say Obi-Wan just was like, here, hold this. Like, there's no need for it anymore. He still has like Anakin's saber. Like there'd be no reason for him to separate from his own saber when he has these other sabers in his, you know what I mean? It's just weird.
It was because the movie had no idea how to get Luke's saber, so they created a Maz Kanata character that just happened to have a box that just happened to have the saber, and go, here, you got to have it, please.
And then she said, it's a story for another time, and we'll never know when.
It's a story for
as opposed to going
beginning May 27th, 2022. Is that's what we're going with?
As opposed to the writer saying, we have no goddamn clue how we have the lightsaber, so just ignore it and just keep moving. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Well, you can't answer every question in just 3 movies. I mean,
I'm trying to remember this character.
Answer that question. You can
remember the character at the cantina in Force Awakens? That's Maz Kanata.
I see your eyes. She's like all up in Finn's face.
I think I might need to see a picture or something because I'm drawing a blank.
Don't worry about it. You can answer question number 6. Where's Boba Fett during the Kenobi show?
He's on the streets begging for money.
Not on Dio. That was a cool cameo, bro.
That was a good cameo.
It was a really cool cameo.
They didn't even have to name him. That was sick.
No. Right, Jaded Fanboy?
That's not my real answer, but I just wanted to.
I think Boba Fett in this show won't be used. If they do use him, the actor they would use is what's his name? The other New Zealander. You remember the guy who was like having fun on the panel yesterday? They'd use
Uncle Man's dad.
I'm just thinking, how old would Boba Fett be during this show, during this time frame, though? Wouldn't he be like a late teenager, though?
Well, he'd be like 13 plus 16.
So wouldn't he still be training with?
Wait, for Kenobi?
For Kenobi, he'd be 13 years old because that's what he was in Attack of the Clones, plus 13 years since then.
Yeah, he's old.
Make him 26. He'd be 26.
Would he be with Cad Bane at this time, or?
Yeah, maybe.
I think he'd be. Yeah, I think he'd be with. Well, he wouldn't really be training because if he's 26, I don't really know what their age.
I think Fennec was active when she was 26. So will Boba Fett be.
Yeah, so I think he'd be out still establishing his rap. I mean, he's planet hopping.
I'm pretty sure that he's out there killing individuals, like, because his name is so big that, you know, he could just walk in a room and everyone's like, oh shit, it's Boba Fett, and then he'll just collect all the bounties. That's what I picture him doing.
He's like, setting up all the planets he's gonna go to with Grogu. He's scanning all the planets. I better recognize this planet because I have to come visit this in about a couple of years later from now on.
Exactly.
I could see a cameo of Boba Fett with some sort of you know, along with Cad Bane being like the more prominent, and then just like a little shot of Boba Fett maybe under his wing kind of thing. Because I mean, yeah, we're saying he's gonna be like 20 years old, 20 to 25 years old.
If anything,
does that make sense?
I would say if they were going to do something with Boba Fett, show him not having the rocket pack yet, and have it that it kind of shows how he earns it or how he gets it. That would be interesting.
And Cad Bane is so badass. I think that he would need his own show because I've seen him whooping Boba Fett, and you know he really just lost because he gave like a 10-minute speech, which you never do as a villain. But yeah,
that monologue, he monologued.
Hey, it's what you do, man. It's what you do. I think that I would love to see a bounty hunter show. What time period? It has to be
War of the Bounty Hunters.
what
didn't they already do 2 bounty hunter TV shows?
They did the comic line. They should do the comic line, the War of the Bounty Hunters.
They did 2 bounty hunter TV shows. What am I talking about?
Yeah, they already did too. I don't know what you missed.
But they're so different though, is because Boba Fett was leading a planet, Tatooine. And then
I don't know if Boba Fett was a bounty hunter show because he was sleeping in that bacta tank like 90% of the show. Like
exactly, that's what makes it different. Question number 7 of 33, Burning MCU. Star Wars questions. Here chilling with the neighbor to the North comics, the Jaded Fanboy, T-Virus Terrence, and Hawks Holocrons. Why hasn't Book of Boba Fett Season 2 been announced? Because poor reception. Or it'll be announced like probably not right now as I'm talking at the Star Wars Celebration. But so far, poor reception. I feel like that if that show had the buzz Mandalorian did, then they would definitely be forward and we'd already know about it. Temuera Morrison was on the stage having a chat with the panel, so it doesn't look like the relationship with he and Star Wars Lucasfilm is over. Season 2 has not been announced because maybe they're waiting for next year.
No,
because it'll be the Book of Fennec Shan.
That would be cool too. I take that.
I actually would take that.
There's no Book of Boba Fett Season 2 because it's not necessary. The Season 1 was literally designed. The Season 1 was literally designed to segue into the Mandalorian's next season. So I mean, what's left for Boba Fett?
Cobb Vanth is still alive, and they ended the show with him still being alive.
And I honestly, chill, like, I didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett, which I refer to as the Book of Disappointment. Like, I was watching the Mandalorian.
It was disappointing if you didn't watch it. No, sorry. I got you.
I should have waited. I referred to it as the Mandalorian Season 3 because Boba Fett was taking a nap the whole show, and then he got upstaged by every character in the Star Wars universe. So,
neighbor, when you said Book of Fennec Shan, were you joking? Because I think that's actually a good idea.
I was actually not joking at all. Like, I mean, you can kind of see the torch being passed at the end, and I don't think you need any more on Boba Fett. I think that kind of closed the book, and you know, it was a segue. It was your Mandalorian Season 2.5. And
so the story
gave you that transition into Season 3. This is what we're going to expect.
A transition to Mandalorian. The story of Cobb Vanth and all that will continue elsewhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be the second season.
Just call it instead of calling it the Book of Boba Fett, they just should have called it the Return of Baby Yoda. That's all they should have called it. Because that was the whole point of that dumb show.
Scotty?
Bro, Skynet. Oh, you did. Okay. I couldn't tell if it was me. But so what they should do is continue the Cobb Vanth storyline, and the show will be called Aftermath, Star Wars Aftermath. And it'll be based on the trilogy of books, and it'll lead up to the Battle of Jakku.
I mean, yeah, sure. Because it would reward the book
Cobb
people.
Vanth as a focus and a segue into the other characters that are around at the end of the Empire. We're going to get the transition into the First Order eventually, so I want to see all that. I think people need to see the Battle of Jakku. Luke was there. So,
considering that I didn't read any book or watch any of the animations, I don't know what the hell that's about, but it might be cool.
Agent Fanboy, can you read what she wrote down there? What's that word say?
She misspelled Baby Yoda.
Question number 8 of 33. What makes you wish you were at Star Wars Celebration right now? I do wish I was there. Okay. And the most interesting thing, you know what? When Ashley Eckstein says to freaking Hayden Christensen, "Oh, good to meet you, Sky Guy," that was legendary.
Yeah. Okay, well, there goes my answer too. So, all right, next.
I didn't even know there was a Star Wars Celebration, so how can I wish I was there if I didn't even care it existed?
It's a lot of fun. It's like, it's Star Wars Celebration. It's happening in Anaheim. There are things that they were tight-lipped about, which they're sharing now, including that animated series I was telling you about. It's going to be on Disney Junior with the Jedi Adventures.
Ooh, I'm supposed to be excited about a kids animated show.
They said that it's going to be plenty of Easter eggs for the adults.
And they said it is going to be as adult as the Clone Wars, or as kid show as the Clone Wars was.
I saw that.
Okay, but is it going to be as well written as the Clone Wars? That's my interest.
Not George Lucas.
Me too.
I don't think
a lot
Filoni
of stuff
was.
comes down to writing for me. A lot of it.
Like I initially didn't care about the Clone Wars animated show, but then everybody was talking about how well written it was, and I went, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is actually interesting.
Honestly, I'm not really into these like large gatherings that humans do. So I don't wish I was there. But at the same time, I feel like, if a human were to invite me to said celebration, then I feel like because I enjoyed the movies, I'm pretty sure I'll get something out of it.
Aren't you over there on the West Coast? I may be mistaken or maybe wrong for even saying that because I don't think your location is public.
I live in California. There's a lot of chaotic humans out here.
You're right there in Anaheim. You could go check it out.
Oh, absolutely. It wouldn't even take me that long because, me being in Carson, California, it would take me about 20 to 35 minutes, depending on traffic conditions, to get to Anaheim.
Do it.
Oh, watch the highlights on YouTube. You're not going to miss anything.
That's the only reason I would want to be there is because we're missing out on stuff. We're missing out on announcements. There's things that are going to slip through the cracks. And if you're there on the floor, at least you're hearing all the conversations. And personally, for me, like I get dragged down with the depressive hate, call it hate, whatever you want to call it with. It's just like the people who are disappointed in Star Wars, man, you got to miss me with that sometimes. Like I would love to be there and see everybody hyped about Star Wars.
I get disappointed sometimes, but I'm not toxic about it. So I think that makes me okay. I mean, your good books, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's all speculation. Like I just want people to be able to speculate freely without someone be like, wow, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Like,
okay, so then
you can keep that opinion to yourself sometimes. You don't always have to shit on somebody, So
then I can't go then, obviously, because that's all I'll do.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest,
wing and just hang out over there.
if I'm going to be honest, the last time that I was even remotely excited about Star Wars was for The Mandalorian, because the sequel trilogy, I was like, eh. And then even Obi-Wan, before I saw it, I was like, eh. The Andor, eh. And then we don't even need to get into the prequels, how much that disappointed me overall. But if someone likes it, I'm not going to be like, how dare you, human? It's just like, no, I'm glad that you're having fun. I wish I can share in that enthusiasm. But when you get these inconsistent, sloppy writing in relation to Star Wars lore, I tend to take issue with it.
I understand the negative stuff about Obi-Wan was so upsetting yesterday. Oh, you mean the Darkies comments from the LB was doing a video on? Yeah, that's
Oh, don't worry, Widow. I'm sure you're gonna hate mine.
Well, trust me, nothing you say will be that bad.
No, definitely not.
Question number 9. What makes a droid male or female? Because in the Kenobi show, Leia has a little thing that she called Lola. To me, it's the voice actor for the droid that you said it can configure it to has a man doing the voice. It's a male droid. If not, it's a she, it's a her. Those are her pronouns. Because Leia calling it a her, I'm like, wait, what's this weird? But then I was like, wait a minute. Why do I consider all droids males? Why do I even assign genders to these droids? Is R2-D2 a male or a female? I feel like he's a male. Like, I feel like they've said he for R2, haven't they? So,
well, he kind of has the body structure of a male, so it kind of helps.
Oh, or what is Geode?
Well, again, what is R2-D2? You don't really view R2-D2 as male or female because it's, or like BB-8. You don't really refer to BB-8 as male or female, do you?
No, BB-8's got curves though. I don't know.
It's got a curve.
BB-8's inflections are higher too.
Oh.
No, I think with the Lola situation, or like if it's your personal droid, I think it's like a pet that you could assign the voice, assign the attitude or whatever you want to. But
I don't know if it would be prudent to call a droid a pet, because I'm picturing that they would just probably come after you while you're sleeping, like, teach you to call me a pet, and it's going to be like a drill going through your chest.
Well, that's not fair, Terrence, because they always refer to their owners as master or owners. They did refer to them as our previous owners, our previous masters.
The maker.
But that's true. But I don't know if their circuitry is going to malfunction at some point, and they just remember things incorrectly, and then that leads to my demise. But to answer the question, I'm not really sure what makes a droid male or female. I hear like how you mentioned with young Leia and what is she named, the little bot again?
Lola.
Female,
I think Lola because its digits are actually L0 and then 1 O, so it looks like the word Lola.
And then she referred to her as her, if I remember correctly. Yep. And I was like, I really didn't think much about it. Like, it was just like, oh, that's interesting because, again, I feel like my knowledge is limited to just the movies. So I don't know like how common that is to assign gender and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I have no issues with it.
Okay. One day the droid gender will be a question like everything else. Question number 10 is in the poll. It's poll time, everybody. Join in because I'm asking all of you people in the live chat right now, and we'll get back to this answer in a second. If Obi-Wan meets with Yoda, do you want the puppet version or the CGI version? I'll let you know when we get there. Question number 11 for the panel, neighbor to the north. Does having 2 Sith concentrate all of the dark side force power? It's the rule of 2. Maybe there's a reason for it.
Yeah. My answer is long, but someone else can go.
Yeah, I'll be short with it. Yeah, I would think so because then you would think that every Jedi or every Sith all has like their their strengths and weaknesses, right? So with the rule of 2, I think they kind of balance out to make with both of them together they have all the power together.
See, I was kind of going along that lines, but I was gonna go. They were gonna feed off of each other. That was
like in that
sense too, not so much that one person has a weakness or one person has a strength. It's that they can help coordinate better. So it's
that's Bane's whole philosophy is one to hold the power and the other to always seek it. So this person holding it always has to continue to gain above them, and that's how they maintain the strength in the dark side. Right. And that was Bane's whole philosophy is like there's thousands of us out here and we're all taking from the force. So I'm going to just eliminate all of you so that I can assume all that power. I feel like that reflects in the Jedi as well when there's no Jedi left and the last one removed himself from the force and then the force had to respond.
Ooh, and that's where the kid with the broom comes from. Even the kid that Rey
or any of the force just doing things.
Cal Kestis, the kid that they saved in episode 2 of Kenobi that apparently had the force, right?
No, I think it's going to be revealed that like Luke's actions actually had a massive impact. Like, I don't know. I really feel like him removing himself from the force is what awakened it in Rey, but they don't really correlate that well in the story. So
I like that theory.
I think that like to me, it kind of reminds me of the Green Lantern stuff from DC. The less lanterns there are, the more powerful each individual one is. Like even if you look at the Orange Lantern, Larfleeze, who is about greed, he's the only one, and he's stupid powerful. So I think it kind of correlates that way with individuals associated with the dark side.
Okay, not to segue because I still want to get to Hawks, but the yellow ring is in and of itself powerful, not because it's the only one, but because
I'm talking about the orange one, the greed.
Right, but I'm just saying you were using you were using a specific color, saying because it was orange, it's the only one. But the yellow was also the only one too, but it doesn't really apply the same way.
Well, yeah, but I used the orange one for that specific reason.
For that specific example, okay. Yeah, but as for Hawks, in regards to your viewpoint, how does the midichlorian work in with that mentality about less people using the Force? Because whether or not you can use the Force or not is literally based off of your midichlorian count.
Yep.
So, and I think that metachlorian stuff is really stupid.
Well, so do I, but unfortunately, it's in the lore, Terrence. So I'm saying
we're talking really stupid. This dad joke by Mike Porter. How many Sith at one time? 2. One to change the light bulb, the other to hold the ladder.
The others to force hold the ladder. Force hold the ladder.
So got a chuckle out of Terrence. Okay, someone
and even if you have like a low midichlorian count, doesn't matter how much force is available, you are still limited to your access to the force.
Yeah, I
don't like the midichlorian count. I'm not for it.
I just kind of correlate it like that because the more that someone takes from any particular power source, the weaker it gets as it's distributed throughout the individuals. Like we have seen that many times throughout the Lantern lore. So that's why I kind of correlated it with the Sith. I think that it might work in a similar vein. It's not always consistent, but that just came to my mind.
I don't think that applies because with the way the Force works, it comes from all living things throughout the universe. So it's not like the giant lantern on Oa where it's got a limited source. The Force is literally a universal.
Surrounds us. It binds.
Yeah, it surrounds us from.
And you're also talking.
Imagine just the amount of Force power you can get from a planet with like 5 billion people and is filled with forests and animals, as opposed to Tatooine, which is a desert planet and has hardly any living thing. So you could be on a lush planet and the amount of force that you have access to would be significantly different than an ice planet or a sand planet.
I just believe that the Sith work a little bit differently. That's why, I phrased it like
notes here.
Because at one point, you're talking about there were so many, and then now there's the rule of two. I think that's for a reason, which is why I drew the comparison. And then when you have so much power, obviously, the fact that you have these individuals fighting, they're like, no, I want to be the most powerful. No, I'm not going to let you be the most powerful. Just from an intellectual standpoint, it makes sense to me that when you narrow it down, the power will still work a little bit differently. It's not going to just be as cut and dry as like, because there's a lot of force around that it's going to be infinite. It's like not necessarily. As I've seen with different individuals who wield the force, that there are differences. It's based on a lot of different circumstances.
There's a cap.
But
I'll get to this question in a second from Mike, but I want to add that there's two sources of what you're telling me about the force and how lush planets and whatnot. One of them is midichlorians because we know they're living things and they exist in living beings. The second one is that scene in The Last Jedi where Luke was telling her, "Oh, look, do you feel that? What is it?" And then you saw them cut over to like the bottom of the sea. They cut up, and you see like a plant growing, and he's like, "That's the force. That's the force." Two scenes that are hated from fans: midichlorians, trash Jedi, and yet it's making your opinion, for this.
Well, because it's still war. Again, I don't approve of it.
That is exactly why I said what I said, because of the different examples,
and it's being supported by the trash hated parts of the fandom.
So regardless of how I feel or agree about it, I'm like, based upon all
you're saying the same thing I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Ox Holocrons, you were taking notes, right? What were you wanting to say?
You guys ready? I'm gonna break it down for you.
Okay.
So the Force is obviously everywhere. I think that midichlorians are in this universe a part of DNA. So we all have a level of midichlorians. They can be gauged. The terminology midichlorian is only used for scientific purposes. These people are humans. They do not know what the Force is. They are scientists. They've identified this thing within the bloodstream that they can't really figure out what it is. It's been called a midichlorian. Now, that being said, I agree with everything he was saying about lush planets versus desert planets and being able to draw from the Force. I feel like that's why Luke went to Ahch-To, because there's little life on that planet. He's able to hide. Planets also build up nexuses. So planets themselves do have power levels of the Force, whether it's Ashla or Bogan. But I think that like the Force has a cap. Midichlorian is just a term used by the scientific people within this universe because they don't know how to explain it. And that helps me at least not hate that type of a term. You know what I mean? It's only for, and Sam Witwer has hit on this before, where it's like, we hate these things about the canon and what characters say, but like these characters are only talking about what they know. Mm-hmm. So we know what midichlorians are. We know everything about them. So when they say M count, It's because they literally don't know what the hell that is.
Ooh,
I literally have no idea what it is.
But-
It's an M count.
And I like how that information just solidified what I said about Lantern history, because Alan Scott did not get his Green Lantern powers the traditional way. There was magic, all kinds of other factors involved. So with that fits into the whole mythology of the Lantern Corps by and large, because it's not always as cut and dry as getting it from one particular source.
Right. Fine.
And there's a section of the fandom that are like against the cloning, against the Sith stuff. Like, this is a natural progression of science. Like, the Sith aren't even necessarily the ones pushing the boundaries of cloning. It's been Camino, bro. And after Camino's destruction in the comics and all this stuff, they still found work. They're still cloning for other people. So this is a universe that's 10,000 years beyond where we're even thinking our technology is at.
And then this question here, then why 3 Inquisitors? I just feel like, listen, there were remnants of Jedi. They were like, hey, listen, we can either kill them or have them do our bidding. And they were willing to do our bidding. So let's keep them around. Let's just keep these Inquisitors around. I know that we want to concentrate into it, into rule of 2, so we can have all the dark side power.
Oh,
there's literally
like
there's no opposition. It's not like there are many Jedi. And if there are any, let's just have these underlings solve the problem and
and chill. You know what, man? Like, as much as I like the fight scenes in the Star Wars prequels, if I had it my way, the prequels would not exist, because they messed up so many things from a writing standpoint. Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
Aren't the Inquisitors not really considered Sith? They're just considered Force sensitive beings that they're aligned with the dark side.
I saw a red lightsaber.
Some are, some aren't, because some have the eyes and some don't. So I believe the Grand Inquisitor is a Sith.
Oh, Reva had black. Reva didn't have the yellow eye.
Right.
No.
Yep.
No, she was a former. We're assuming she was a former Padawan at some point, right?
Exactly.
And we have to also.
Youngling or.
Yeah, we also have to remember that, like, the rule of 2 is just a rule. Palpatine doesn't have to follow that. He's not necessarily adhering even to it. He is the emperor now. Like, his arrogance and everything, you know, he has contingency plans. He thinks he's untouchable. So these Inquisitors are literally a tool to remove the rest of the Jedi, and then he would literally kill them. He doesn't care.
That's true. That's what I was explaining to humans. I'm just like, that rule, quote unquote, is just to let the audience know what you would normally get, but it doesn't mean it has to fall within that all the time.
Right. People get
I always kind of read it as, you know, following the tenets of, you know, the Jedi and the thing. It's those who are will. In other words, these are the rules that I'm choosing to follow. These are the rules I'm not choosing to follow. I mean, it's not. It's not a necessity. It's more of a choice by the individuals.
Everyone fucks up. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, and I get drunk sometimes and have a chicken wing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's,
you know.
How could you? We were all rooting for you.
I'm hated on from my fellow non-meat eaters. They're like, how could you do that? You know, I do it once a year. I eat chicken wings.
You get the vacation. You have to get drunk to do it. So that's the only reason.
Well, that usually comes along with it.
We cut back over to that poll. I have now ended it. Question number 10. 77% say you want the puppet, and there
are I approve of this chat.
You guys,
thank you, chat.
Chat, you're breaking my heart. I don't know who you are.
Chillmongo wants the Yoda in a blender too, where he just ninja bops all over the place too.
I prefer the puppet as well, because when I saw that in the original trilogy as a kid, I was like, wow, I cannot wait to meet Yoda. And then I realized he wasn't real, and that was a very sad moment in my life. But then
surrounded.
But then chill. When I saw the CGI one, I was just like, they want me to feel like this is more realistic, but I was kind of taken out of it. I was like, no, give me the puppet back.
That was the one that was in Soul Calibur. Come on.
Fair enough, but
yeah, I got it. At least Scotty's on my side. CGI.
I mean, so
this is how Liberty dies.
I almost was, but like with
that was a fan question, anyway. That's not for you guys. It's okay. We don't. That was question 10. Thanks everyone for participating in the poll. The last poll I do this week. 12. what has been the best interview of the week? And to me, so far, the best interview that I saw was. I got to think about it. Who has an answer? No, I do know the answer. It was the Attack of the Clones 20-year anniversary because Temuera Morrison and the guy who played Boba Fett when he was younger, he's older now. They had, Daniel, him. They had a lot of fun on stage, and it was the same interview where Hayden Christensen, Obi-Wan joined later on, and I learned something. He told Kenobi or Ewan McGregor told young Daniel, young Boba Fett, when I walk in that room, you're supposed to look at me as if I just farted. And now when I watch that scene back, you're going to see him walk into the room. Oh, hi, Jango Fett. Good to meet you. He'll look over to Boba Fett, and Boba Fett kind of gives him a gross little side eye. And he was instructed from Ewan, look at me like I passed gas. It's amazing. Sorry, Scotty, your favorite interview?
I really enjoyed the interviews with Hayden and Ewan talking about getting back into like the saber training and stuff like that. And then Ewan brought up the behind the back move that Hayden just did randomly on set, and then it got coined as an Anakin specific movement within his fighting style, and it's used to this day in whatever that. Yeah, and he was just messing around on set, and somebody was like, "Can you do that again?" And then they used it in the movie.
And then Luke did it in the Mandalorian finale.
Yes, sir. Same move.
Nerd hat. Anyone else watch any of the interviews that happened this week?
I would like to say that I don't have a favorite interview because I didn't watch any, but yeah.
Actually, I did watch one interview with Hayden Christensen, and I was impressed by it because it was like, oh, he wasn't acting wooden and stiff. He's wooden and stiff in real life because it was just in a
fact.
Yeah, like everybody kept going, oh, he was acting that way. He was told to act that way. After watching that interview, going, no, that was him. That was all him.
You turned her against me. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Terrence, that is so sad but cute. LOL. It's classic. I don't want hey guys. Listen, I don't care about the puppet talk. Is over, guys. Go. You can all be wrong somewhere else. Hated and you.
Just sure. On the note of Hayden's acting, yes, horrible it was. But imagine like you're a child who's like basically, he only had really like a real life up until he was like 8 or 9 when he was pod racing, and that's it. And then he was kind of like just stripped away. He's into this like. To this space cult, and he doesn't like you meet people. Actor. You meet people that in your real life, like who have grown up in a different way, like where they just didn't have a childhood, or they didn't get to experience childhood or anything like that. They definitely talk a different way. They're kind of sheltered and stuff. So I think his acting just fit what he was a product of. Right?
I don't think so, because there's a difference between someone in real life with a certain demeanor and an actor hired to play a certain demeanor, but he couldn't do it because he has no acting skills.
There's some validity to that. Now, I hate to sound really stupid right now, but I just noticed that when there's a lot of black on the screen, then like the whites get accentuated, and then when I remove it, it's like not like that. And I hate it's a Logitech Brio, but I feel like
you got to download the LG Hub app. And then you got to turn off your auto white balancing and turn off your auto exposure.
Get a unicorn filter to balance it out.
I'm going to ask you to DM me that later so I can remember what it was. Thank you very much. Because I go through that all the time every time I come on here, and I hate how
because then you can do stuff like this and like, or if I do auto and then I move and stuff, like exposures change. But because I'm in front of a window, I constantly am like moving my exposure around to make it better. It's a good app for that camera though, specifically.
Okay.
Got you.
Thank you. Question 14. What is the name of the Star Wars galaxy?
A galaxy far, far away.
We're going to go with galaxy far, far away. Any objection?
Far, far away. Done.
A long time ago.
Oh, see, there we go. That's right there. think we got another poll question.
I just have to be contrary, sorry.
No, you're right. I'm gonna put that in
devil's
a poll.
advocate.
I'm with Jaded. Like, I was, yeah.
Okay, who got the worst animation in Clone Wars?
Ooh, wow.
Easy, Bob. Easy. Bib Fortuna.
There was a couple of droids that did it that looked really off, though. In the early season, I remember there was a couple of droids that seemed kind of like noticeable because it was just so. But as for character, I didn't really think of the character.
I just remember them introducing Bib in that Rancor, the baby Rancor episode, and I was like, man, this guy, his skin is just perfectly smooth. Like, I don't know. He had a weird look.
Now, chill, don't force choke me or anything, but I couldn't get into the Clone Wars, like, and I didn't really watch it like that. But yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with the show, you know, based off of what I saw.
It's too much.
The excitement wasn't there, but yeah.
It took me a long time to get into it too. Actually, it's not until the Disney Plus era where I watched every episode in order.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about it now that you?
I need to rewatch it. Actually, with Vader's Lair, you guys know the YouTuber Sheev the Wise. He would do watch parties of Clone Wars, and it was like a great community thing where you could like chill with chill. You know what I mean, though. You hang out with a guy in his live chat while he's watching Clone Wars. You would make a side comment. He'd give like a little bit more perspective on what happened. And
but what he also did too is chronologically, because the Clone Wars episodes are not chronological, but some nerd put them all in chronological. So he's not just watching the Clone Wars; he's watching it timeline accuracy, like throughout. Or is
and the Bad Batch, that was
as accurate as you can. Yeah.
How many episodes is there of the Clone Wars?
Stupid. 32
over 100.
I have not watched it all. I refuse. I'm like, I know that story, bro. Just tell me where the good episodes are.
It's 7 seasons long, and all of the seasons are like over 15 episodes. It's over 100 in total, I would say.
You know what? That's not bad to me. Like, because I feel like when I actually enjoy something, I'm like, give me as many episodes as possible.
You'll end up binging it, no problem.
They do short episodes, right? 15, 20 minutes.
And
20 minutes runtime.
And they were good at segueing. So like once the episode ended, you were like, okay, let's just see what happens next. So it was good at that.
So yeah, they did a lot of arcs. You'll catch like 3 episodes in a cluster, and then it'll be it. Maybe 4 episodes here, maybe 2 episodes, maybe a oneer. It's unique.
So Jada, did you like the Clone Wars show, or how do you feel?
On its own, it was okay, but compared to the other Star Wars stuff, it was the only one that kept my attention.
Actually, the more Mandalorian I watch, the more other shows I watch, the less filler it is. The Clone Wars exploration and planets we visit.
It's called world building.
So long as Filoni is in charge, he will be revisiting stuff he invented in Clone Wars. So filler for now, soon it will be more than that. I started with the original CW micro series when it aired, and then jumped into Clone Wars on Cartoon Network. That's right. Right, Brett? Cartoon Network, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's all about that.
What was it? For us, it was, Teletoon?
Yeah.
Or is that, that's dude.
For us, it was on CTV at first.
The Clone, like the newer, yeah?
Yeah, Clone Wars debuted on CTV.
Interesting.
So is it true what Star Wars fans say? Like, because I've had some Star Wars fans tell me, even though like I'm a fan of the live action movies, they're like, "You're not a real fan because you didn't watch the show." Like, is that true?
You're missing a lot. You're missing a lot.
I wouldn't put it that way. It's pretty gatekeepy, but you're missing a total huge portion of the series. There's more hours of that show than anything else.
Right? But as far as like plot development, character development, you say we're missing a lot.
I mean, like, I can still
what am I missing? I don't know.
I can still understand the movies though, so that's good. As long as I can understand what's happening in the movies, and I don't feel like I'm missing like 5 years of history, then
Question 15 of 33 burning. Sorry, Jaded. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not like missing WandaVision, so to speak.
Oh yeah, I would say missing WandaVision is way more important to your Doctor Strange watching. Yeah.
I thought that too until I saw Doctor Strange too, and they forgot about Vision. But that's another discussion.
Darth Vader Is that James Earl Jones? Is it George Lucas? Is it Hayden Christensen, I should say? Who's got the ownership of it? And you can't say Lucasfilm, Disney. You can't say that.
What if I want to?
Right now, or I mean, I would say Hayden Christensen right now, because now there's more to Vader, and like we're getting him moving forward. A lot of that we didn't really
Hayden
get to
Christensen will be the answer after this series is done. I'm asking at the
we didn't
time.
See the actor underneath. We only heard James Earl Jones' voice. I forget the actual actor who was in the Vader suit.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was some kind of bodybuilder, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't get to see it. The only person we actually get to put a face to is Hayden Christensen. So, I mean, I think he would have ownership of Vader.
Hayden Christensen's, like, how much screen time did he have as Darth Vader? No, seriously, I can't even remember.
0.
What was it?
0.
No, like what?
Revenge.
2 minutes? He had maybe 2 minutes of screen time as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He now gets to own.
Watch Kenobi, you'll see 2 minutes and 10 seconds of.
Okay, then it's like, please, he gets ownership of Darth Vader, because why? He put a costume on and said no. Suddenly, he gets to have ownership of the character. James Earl Jones has more claim than Hayden Christensen.
I'm just gonna say it. I hate that you put this question in here.
Why? Because it's a difficult question. Who's got the ownership of the character?
No, it's not a difficult question. You're trying to divide us. That's what you're trying to do.
It's unfair. It's outrageous.
I'm gonna say James Earl Jones just because his voice alone to me is better than anything.
Makes the character more than the costume. Yeah. Voice.
Right. That's what it is in my mind. Like, of course, to me, the look of Vader is very iconic and cool and stuff like that. But to me, when someone says Darth Vader, my mind automatically goes to James Earl Jones's voice.
But see, it's not just his voice; it's the delivery of the lines.
Well, yeah, of course.
Just
obviously,
the way he delivered. Your lack of faith disturbs me. I mean, just the way he says it.
Right. Of course, his acting, like, he's a great actor, But I just
I don't remember the scene, Jaded. How does he say it?
I can't remember. Your lack of faith. I find your
lack of faith disturbing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Even the way he delivered it was just, I find your lack of faith. Like, if Hayden Christensen had to deliver that line, it would have been nowhere near as iconic.
And what about that terrifying? Because when I was a kid, right, I was like, that kind of startled me when he was like, "You are part of the Rebel Alliance. Take her away." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I felt like I was being taken away.
Question number 16 of 33. Why don't speeders touch the floor? Why? Why do they just right above that surface and they're not actually hitting the floor?
The principles of lift.
Yeah, what are they called? Gravity emitters.
Yeah, but when the gravity emitters still, like, once you turn off the power, when the gravity emitters shut down, it would actually land. And I mean, the gravity emitters aren't like, running independently. They would be running.
What is that element? What is it? Element 13? Where if you have enough of it in a concentration, it creates its own gravitational.
It creates its own gravitational.
So they just have a neutral compound underneath vehicles that hover them.
Right.
It's
a static position. That's why.
Ashley tries to divide, or not divide, but separate. Hayden Christensen, that guy plays Anakin Skywalker. James Earl Jones is Vader. I wasn't asking that. Wasn't asking that at all. We're not doing that. I'm asking a very divisive question.
I wonder who they're gonna voice for his lines. Like, I mean, are they gonna get Hayden Christensen to do the voice?
Oh no! Please.
Like, how are we doing this?
You're gonna have I think you're gonna see that once, but it'll be a combination of the two voices.
If the mask is on, James Earl Jones, come here, do this voice acting. If it's not on,
it's split.
If the mouth is covered.
Well, if anybody in the show is able to get through to Vader at all, like during a battle or damage the helmet, and then you see an eye and he says anything, you're going to hear Anakin's voice in that too.
No, because he has that mouth thing. No, because he has the mouth thing.
Well, you had it in the Ahsoka fight too.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to hear his actual voice anyway.
We did hear it in the actual.
Yeah, you heard him
fight.
say Ahsoka, and it was Anakin's voice.
Yeah, I'll play it right
in
now.
That fight.
Listen.
Yeah. Then you will die.
I honestly didn't catch it. I didn't.
Wow, that one clip was better than anything that Hayden Christensen ever did. But yeah, I got you. So to answer the question, I think maybe it has to do with metachlorians as to why it doesn't touch the ground, maybe.
There's no way that's got to do with metachlorians. Question 17 is, why did those speeders in episode 9 touch the ground? Huh? Why? It's just as illogical. Listen, you gotta just accept there's fire in space.
Like, what do you want?
I don't get why they were on this treadmill. Like, we have technology where you actually don't need to be touching the sand. You can just be forward and.
Oh, you're talking about like the
they fly now. Remember that scene?
Yeah. They were
because the writers of the show. Because the writers of the show don't know anything about Star Wars lore unless they get the little Post-it notes that tells them what to do.
Right.
You guys saw that they were snowmobiles, right? They had tracks like
that's all they were. They were just tracked. And it's stupid because we have technology and it's a step backwards, but they need to sell new toys, so they made a new device.
That's what I think it comes down to, is just inconsistent writers that have never seen Star Wars, and they're like, hey, you know what? The fans won't see this coming. Like, yeah, you're right. We didn't see that stupidity coming, but I guess toys and
Terrence, there were shows where they weren't even consistent from the previous episode. So it's like I don't even pay attention. It's irrelevant.
Right.
What do you have to say about this comment here, Scotty? Trash movie.
No comment.
I
have learned.
Challenge it.
I've learned very recently. I'm just not gonna start these debates.
Yeah. Neighbor,
we agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, I feel like that's just what we got to do. Because every time does that really, of all the movies
it's the best of the trilogies of the sequels. It's the best. 8, 7, 9. I'll fight it all day.
Neighbor, the question was, why did those speeders in episode 9 touch the ground?
See, now everyone's triggered by my comment.
They needed to sell a new toy, man. Like, just go with that and call it and go to the next question.
Next question. Oh, it's my reminder to thumbs up the video.
Oh.
Because I'm halfway. Oh. What do you mean, oh? You didn't thumbs it up?
No.
Question 18. Terrence, the worst moment in the original trilogy is blank.
Oh, shit.
You got to think about it. Ewoks.
Yeah. I gotta give me some seconds. Come back to me. I gotta think about that. Holy crap!
Neighbor to the North. The worst moment in the original trilogy, the holy 4, 5, and 6 is.
I need a second to think about that, man.
It's not that difficult, guys. It's Ewoks. Scotty.
No, I like Ewoks.
This wasn't always my answer. Actually, it's just a very recent development. During the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight, the Obi-Wan spin, worst part. Obi-Wan spinning in their fight.
I don't even remember that happening. You know why? Because every time I get to that fight during a rewatch, I go to the YouTube video where someone makes it like an updated version, and I watch that instead.
Okay. Now here's the thing, right? This is not a bad scene. It's just when I was a kid, for me, it was the worst moment. When Darth Vader threw Darth Sidious over the balcony. I didn't want him to do that. I wanted him to continue on and dominate everything and have Luke by their side. I wanted it to be the three of them. So to me, that was my worst moment, so to speak. Even though objectively it was amazing, I was kind of sad and stuff.
Jared's got a good answer too. I like that one.
Oh. That is the worst. Do you think he knew that they were brother and sister? Has he ever answered that question?
Yes, it wasn't. They weren't meant to be brother and sister.
In the original scripts.
In the original script, that's
okay then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. That was the worst moment then.
No,
the Finn character alone was an insult to me, a black Star Wars fan. It's not over for Finn. It's not over. He can be here at the celebration. They'll announce episode 10, 11, 12. That could be the end of the Star Wars celebration.
The worst moment in the original trilogy was the ending of
Return of the Jedi.
Because I'm sitting at the movie theater and I'm going, what the hell do you mean it's over? What do you mean I have to wait for the next movie? I hated that so much.
I was dancing like, yeah.
If we both sing, we won't be in sync. So that's why I stopped. I thought you'd keep going. I needed the backup, but it's okay. Question number 19 of 33 burning questions. Which nickname is more corny? Sky Guy or Snips?
Sky Guy.
Clone Wars question.
Yeah, I'm going with Sky Guy too. That's pretty.
I'm gonna go with Sky Guy as well, just because it don't sound good. So.
Sky Guy. Yeah,
it sounds like Ahsoka at the height of her annoyance came up with that nickname.
Yeah.
When was that? You mean she hasn't reached it yet?
Her debut, she calls him Sky Guy.
I just remember everybody not liking her when she was younger, and now everybody loves her.
I was one of those too.
Yeah, same. I think actually a lot of people could be like that with Omega. I'm hoping Omega develops into like a mature character.
Please, because she's annoying.
Her name is Omega.
Sorry.
No, it's Miss Omega.
Question number 20 of 33 burning questions. Who has been the best host at Star Wars Celebration? I think his name is Anthony Calbroni. That guy.
Has Warwick Davis hosted yet?
No, I don't think he will.
He's the best.
Ashley Eckstein had a little panel. What's her name? Andy Gutierrez. She had a little thing. She was all right. You know what the interesting thing is? When Ron Howard came on, he's the one who directed Solo, right? Ron Howard.
Yeah.
He started his interview with Solo, we know the circumstances and everything at the time. What he's alluding to Last Jedi was, the toxic environment. And Andy was like, yeah, and even though it's nothing, even though she just said, yeah, it was like, yo, we get it. You don't got to actually get into the nitty gritty.
They don't want to talk about it. There are a lot of those instances and a lot of interviews that came up and they're just like even I remember the High Republic, because some of the people in the High Republic, they're very opinionated. And one of the ladies just was like, yeah, let's clap for diversity. And the rest of the panel was just like, chill, bro. Like, we all like diversity. Chill.
Wait a minute.
Wait
a minute. I'm thrown off because diversity is an awesome thing, obviously. But
but some of them just hype it up.
Why was it relevant to say, let's clap for
because
diversity?
Maybe it was. I don't know. Like, it was just a moment where they announced like a character that everybody likes. That's one of their more diverse characters. Like, there's a lot of diverse characters in the High Republic. It was just a moment where they always take it that next. Just like you can leave it right there. You don't have to.
Yeah, I hear you. Exactly. And I dislike it. I feel like it's
me too. It takes away from the content.
When you do it, and when I say do it meaning you're not just getting strictly white characters, which has been traditional in every media. But when you got people from everywhere, you're doing the right thing. You're
and
not.
You don't need to tell us. We see it.
Exactly.
We literally not being hateful.
It. Is that a joke, or did a human literally say, "Let's clap for diversity"?
No, she did, and
I gotta hear it in context.
So much pushback all the time with these people. Like, they're just frustrated. They're just lashing out. So when they get that little bit of like dopamine, that little bit of ooh feeling, they just gotta drive it in everybody's face.
They're pushing against the hateful crowd who for some reason they're giving that hateful crowd energy. They're giving them that much prominence. Yeah, don't feed the trolls. They're literally trolls.
That's why I, like, as a High Republic fan, I've gravitated towards Cavan Scott and Charles Soule. And Charles Soule just got promoted to creative consultant at Lucasfilm. Bro, this was the best moment of all of Celebration so far for me. Phase 2 of the High Republic, Charles Soule is doing a comic by himself, just like he did the Vader shit. And it's based on a guy's name, Porter Angle. He is a High Republic character in Phase 1 that was only mentioned in Legend. He's like a cook now, enjoying his life, having a super happy time. But his past, he is the Jedi. And we're going to talk about the Blade, like that's what they call him. But he's the dude that originated the Barash vow, which is what Kirik Infilla did in the Vader comics. He steps away from the Force, will not interfere, like what Luke did, but way more, like way better written, way better explained why this guy is doing that.
And you
so
only
I'm hyped
step
for this
away
new comic
to return. He's gonna be back, and he's gonna be in the Force, but except he won't be a Jedi anymore, right?
Yeah, and this guy didn't like cut himself off like Luke does. He's present, he's present in the Force, just choosing to not interfere. He took a vow that he's going to just observe. So anyway, real random High Republic stuff, but
the thing is,
there's hype in there.
The thing is, these deals, the only reason the Old Republic is better than the High Republic is because they haven't had a chance to screw up the Old Republic as much as they have the High Republic. So,
do you have a preference over here, Scotty? Old or high?
I think the reason that everyone is so quick to say old is because
I'm asking you.
So where I'm going with this is like Old Republic, cinematics, all that shit, great. That story, amazing. High Republic, terrible promotion, terrible medium. You picked physical media as your launching point during a pandemic when nobody's interested in that kind of, like, comics are dying, physical media is dying, and you launched comics. So High Republic, obviously, or I mean, Old Republic, obviously, but Eclipse, live action shows, I'm patient.
It could turn things around.
High Republic,
Old Republic all day. Yeah.
All right. 21 of 33. Who was more likely to return, John Boyega or Daisy Ridley? Boyega.
Unfortunately, both of them.
Ridley is an established Jedi already. I don't think they're going to do the Boyega Jedi story, unfortunately.
I'm going to go with Daisy Ridley just because her character seemed to just make up powers on the fly that made no sense with no training. So I feel like they're going to continue to write the character that way, where you can put her in any situation and she can succeed, as to where John Boyega's character, to me, his greatest power was going, Rey, like the whole trilogy. So
if we're talking about a show where they actually dedicate their time to the character, Daisy Ridley probably has more to do. But if we're talking about just a cameo here or there in a show, maybe John Boyega has a more likelihood of showing up because he's out and about. She is stuck on her planet, Tatooine,
right.
not her planet.
He had a lot of potential though. Like
that's the thing.
When I saw Force Awakens, I was like, you know what? They might have something here. And then I was terribly wrong. But I feel like if you get the right kind of writers, you can really redeem some of these mediocre waste of potential characters. I think there's room for growth in the right way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think when I saw the sequel trilogy, I thought Finn was almost a waste of a character.
I mean, Finn.
I think like not a waste of a character, but I mean, like I think they could have did a lot more with him, and they just didn't. I feel like they had probably too much story to tell and not enough time to do it.
Yeah, like Finn actually has a story. Rey doesn't. There's nothing more to say about Rey because nobody cares. But
Finn would have been the better choice, right? Because he was.
You see how every time I bring up a sequel era question, it gets into that. Like, let's complain about it. With specifically Boyega and what he's got in his career versus Ridley, what she has in her career, I think it's more likely that Boyega would return over Daisy Ridley. I haven't seen Boyega in anything at all. Pacific Rim, right? Is that all he's got? Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you in looking at it that way, John Boyega is the superior actor in every way, in my opinion. Okay. So I would want to utilize his talent. I just would want it to be coupled with good writing. That's all.
And actually, use his character as opposed to just sidelining him.
Right.
And John Boyega did Attack on the Block, and that was like 10 years ago now, and it might get a sequel. There was rumors of that.
Yeah, I like him. He's really talented. That's why I was kind of frustrating to see that they gave him such a mediocre ass role in the Star Wars sequels.
Especially when they started off with the possibility that they were going to be focusing on him, and then all of a sudden,
just nothing.
Yeah,
they were too busy fighting each other, the directors between movie 8 and movie 9. Exactly. I don't know what he said exactly too, but Exactly. I don't remember. I know you were laughing earlier over here about the Ray joke. I know that. Diesel says John might come back if he needs a paycheck. That's the story of everyone. Yeah, it's a big studio franchise movies like this, where they only do it for the paychecks. I don't think that Hugh Jackman much cares about Wolverine that much to keep returning, but that paycheck is great.
Depends on how many truckloads of cash they bring to the house.
Right.
What is Fennec's official title? Fennec Shand, the Hand of Boba, the co-president.
Oh, the right hand of Boba Fett.
Is it really the right hand?
The one who actually knows what's going on.
She's
not even a concierge. She basically,
and
she knows everything that's going on. She has to explain everything to him. She has to get the people. She has to get the gear. She does everything.
If you want to be technical, based off of that series, she's smarter than him. She's more resourceful. She's more badass. She's the one that killed the individuals responsible for killing his family. I'm like, she did all the stuff that he should have been doing, and she was able to talk Boba Fett down when he was getting ready to wreck somebody. I'm like, if you can do that, you're a badass in your own right. I'm like, how the hell you just convince him not to mess somebody up? That's weird to me.
Hey, Terrence, seeing as how Boba Fett was sleeping most of the time, Fennec's official title was babysitter. How's that?
Yeah, she was the nanny.
She was the nanny.
Nanny Shand. We got nanny. We got Lord.
But
we've got.
Hey, you know what though? I would love to have her in my corner. She proved it to be,
Yeah, she's like the Red Sparrow that can just go behind scenes, get in there. No one sees her. She killed a whole room of people before they even knew it was happening. A lot of people forget too that she fought Cad Bane. Was everybody disappointed with how powerful she was when she fought Cad Bane? Why are we so disappointed by how powerful she is in Boba Fett?
Because the problem is, I can't speak on the Cad Bane stuff, but what I can do is speak on what was given to us in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's like every other character to me seemed more interesting than Boba Fett, including Fennec Shand. So from my perspective, it's not so much I'm like, oh, I hate her character. It was more like you put her in a position to be more badass than him, and I did not appreciate that aspect of it.
We got Star Wars Obsession in the live chat. Aren't you over that in Anaheim?
He's there.
He's there with Sheev the Wise.
He was.
But this
Sheev had
an
epic
always
rant on
works,
day
right?
one.
These sort of relationships work. There's always one figurehead. Boba Fett has the legacy of being, the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, right? He doesn't need to do anything. He's just there to put the name. He puts the face out, right?
He needed to do a lot in the show.
I work in the restaurant industry, and we have an executive chef who basically does nothing. They write the menu. They go and they talk to the people. There's actually a chef de cuisine who is actually the person online actually working, who is there all the time overseeing the day to day. And the other guy is basically like he puts the face behind the restaurant. It's like you're going to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, but he actually doesn't work there, right? But
that doesn't apply to Boba Fett.
This is the problem.
It does. It totally does. Fennec Shand is the.
In the first episode, people didn't even know he was. In the first episode, people didn't even know he was the crime lord.
Right,
and then the ones that did know didn't even respect him.
Right.
You had
that was the whole week of the series, right? Everybody was like, I don't respect you. I don't fear you. Even the Power Rangers were just.
Even the Power Rangers didn't fear him. He's a figurehead, my ass.
But now is he
do this to Boba Fett? That was so messed up, man.
Boba Fett was more badass than the Mandalorian. That's true. And the sad thing is,
Absolutely.
it's the same
100%.
guy directing both. I said sad thing as if I hate the show. Don't hate the show. I just mean it was, there was a time to show the strengths of Boba Fett, and they didn't do it during the Boba Fett show, not as much as they could have done, which would have been better. Still, I'm pleased with what the show gave me because my expectations were not comic books and all that other good stuff. I'm actually kind of happy that he has a Rancor and he wrote a Rancor. I think that's awesome.
If I would have had knowledge of the comic books and the books, I would probably hate that show based off of what my friends have told me who are Star Wars enthusiasts. I was like, wow, I didn't even know 99% of the stuff they told me, I was like, wow, they really did that character dirty then.
You had me in the first half. He's got a lot of history. He's just not that dude now. He's just not.
I asked the poll question about whether it's called a long time ago or far, far away. And most of you say far, far away with 80%. That was the name of the Star Wars galaxy. Moving on, 23. Has Fennec ever tried to death sticks? Yeah. She got low.
Yep.
I could see her selling them. I just don't see her using them.
Okay.
I could see her needing to be undercover and being offered one.
I can see her using them, selling them. I can see her doing a lot of stuff.
She's tried death sticks, right? Chaos in comics.
Death sticks are though, do we?
I just know that Obi-Wan told the man, "You don't want to be selling these death sticks." So
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's marijuana.
I was just going to ask
in the show they had different strains.
Wait a minute.
That girl had different strains, bro, on Dio or whatever.
So death sticks are the gateway drug in Star Wars.
Yes.
Now, do they actually
start with death sticks and you end up in back to tanks, man?
Do they? So they don't actually. Do they actually kill anyone, or is that just a name because of Star Wars?
Oh yeah, actually.
Well, hold on. They could just be cigarettes. Death sticks, cancer sticks.
Yeah, we don't know. They don't.
He could just be selling cigarettes for all we know.
Spice in there, personally.
You tell people who sell cigarettes to go home and rethink their life. It's not the equivalent.
Nah, it's drugs.
Question 24.
Gateway drug.
What happens to Grogu on Death Stick's neighbor to the north?
Whoa.
Oh, God, please. Yes. Yes.
He speaks.
Oh man. I'm playing out some scenes in my head with with him and the torturing the store, like the Moff Gideon's forces there, and throw him against the wall, and
he just turns into a massive troll.
Yeah, just like a cat playing with a half dead mouse.
I got it, Chill. I got it.
What's that?
Grogu on death sticks. What would happen is not only would he would speak perfect English and reveal that he's a Sith.
On death sticks? Yes, he would.
Grogu on death sticks would be like going from Gizmo to Spike.
Right.
I love that.
Yep.
If you don't know that reference, tough.
I want to know that reference, but is it Ricky and Morty? What is it?
Gremlins.
Oh, bro.
Oh.
The Wayback Machine.
25. What is the technical term for the tornado DDT that Cosca Reeves executed on Boba Fett through the table? Because it's a tornado DDT to us. Is it like an assisted takedown over in the Star Wars galaxy? The technical term of that would be...
Yeah, was it part of the Mandalorian fighting styles?
Exactly. What are the Mandalorian fighting styles named after? Like, what are the... I know the Jedi have their own techniques with their own names, don't they? Mandalorian's got it too.
Oh, yeah, because you're 100% right. Because what the jetpack training is called Dragon...
Oh, yes, right.
Is it Dragon? Okay, so it was a Dragon... Dragon Fire. Yeah, Dragon Fire.
Because the Mando says, no, I haven't had my et cetera training yet.
Yeah, but when it came to the Whistling Birds, that wasn't
a maybe that's what it was.
Thing, though. Because the Whistling Birds were just used as a weapon. So I guess some things might have names and some things might not.
Rising Phoenix.
Rising Phoenix.
That is the Mandalorian culture in the act of using a jetpack.
Okay, then what she did was like a Dragon Phoenix.
Yes.
A jet.
Or, yeah, it's like a Street Fighter move. I know exactly where you're going.
Just like the 7 lightsaber forms. Yeah, we got it right there. See, some combination of Rising Phoenix, the word jetpack, and I can't say DDT. That's like a wrestling terminology, which if you guys didn't know, Damien's Dinner Time is the name of that move. Jake the Snake Roberts he was trying to do a vertical suplex. He dropped him instead on his head, which, hey, that's a new move. DDT was invented.
Jake the Snake, boy, yeah. That's
and he's still alive.
Maybe it was called the People's Elbow.
Yo, did you know Jake the Snake used to pay flights extra to get the snake put in seat with him and not undercarriage because the snakes have died because it gets so cold up there.
Yeah.
So I had to actually buy a seat for the snake to sit next to him.
You couldn't do that today, though. Since 2011, there's no way you're getting a snake on a plane.
The planes are different now, though.
That's why they got their own WWE planes.
I think he would be able to accomplish it. He would just give him that WWE look, and then they would just let him take the snakes on the plane. Like, I'm telling you, you'll be fine.
Takes it out of the bag.
It's so weird saying snakes on a plane, and then you're like, oh yeah, the Sam Jackson movie. 26th
That's all I can think about is Sam Jackson.
Can BB-8 swim? This little round ball. I don't know. There's no room for air. I know that if you put R2-D2 in water, he'll figure it out. Jetpacks and whatever else George Lucas wants to invent. BB-8, I can't accept that this little thing can swim. It's probably a really heavy device.
He can float, maybe, but that's about it.
No, it wouldn't even float.
He should be able to go. You can take a ball and roll it across water for a short period.
How heavy is he? I don't think he's
inflated ball. Yes.
Yeah. No, he's got weight.
No.
I mean, chill. Honestly, I think he'd be able to swim.
He doesn't. He has a way to keep his head above the ball, right? It's some sort of like
gyro,
magnetic
flying. Yeah, kind of like the same way as we were talking about the speeders. Right, so I mean, he
might
have some sort of.
Does not have any floaties, and there's no floaty that will take care of BB-8. BB-8 is a
he's too advanced for a floaty, though. He would.
There's a little compartment that giant like the floater like the waiting thing with the duck, and the thing goes around him. It's got the little duck head and the little.
I don't see it. You guys can imagine, but I don't see this thing happening at all. This floaty thing. What evidence is there?
He's got this little.
He's got a lighter.
He's got this little Bic thing, and you don't think he's got a flotation.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
like a Swiss Army knife.
How often would because he helps he's the navigation thing for the planes. How often is he going to get access to the water that they would have to do that anyway?
Exactly, it's not necessary.
Now,
well, BB-8 might be able to figure it out, though. Sometimes in life.
He'd have to grapple to something and pull himself up. He's got all those cords that he can shoot out.
I think maybe
he would have to be, man, because like you think about planes, right? They have specific devices because planes down themselves in water because it's one of the safer places to do it rather than ground.
I believe that
so
BB-8 has enough
he's similar to like an astromech droid. He has some sort of emergency protocol for sure for a down starfighter in the water.
Why? If they're a down starfighter gets downed in space.
Yeah.
What about on takeoff, man? If he's shot down on
takeoff? If you're taking off to go down on the water, it's called a vertical takeoff. It's called a vertical takeoff.
Well,
I'm saying no. Wait, no from me. Neighbor says
yeah.
You're being optimistic.
Oh yeah.
Jaded fanboy, of course.
Oh hell no, he'll sink like a rock.
Terrence is saying
yes.
And Hawks Holocron with a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I don't think he's designed to swim, but I think he'd figure it out. I think somebody else said that too.
Jeez Louise. Question number 20.
He'll float based off of his cuteness.
Which film had the happiest ending music?
What? The first one.
I mean, there's only
whatever that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the first one New Hope or Phantom Menace?
Yeah. Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
It's Phantom Menace or Return of the Jedi, one of the two. I mean, you got both celebrations in there, but Phantom Menace with Jar Jar dancing around and all that stuff
with the glowy light thing, also. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember Jar Jar at all, but the music was awesome. Yeah.
Good. Just repress that in the back of your.
You know who I do remember? Boss Nass. Boss Nass was just sitting up on the. They were all up there, and they were all like with Naboo and everybody. Hilarious.
True.
Is Boss Nass the short Jedi?
He's the
Gungan. that guy. Yeah.
The Gungan King.
Boss Gungan. Okay.
Yeah.
He was actually interesting. I'll give you that for sure. Yeah.
You no think you better than us? Yes, that was him. You see how I'm not afraid to voice act? You guys can do that too whenever you voice.
I tried.
I was singing the songs with the.
You did. It's Jaded Fanboy who doesn't want to put his Vader voice on. You were part of the Rebel Alliance. Remember when he said that line?
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah.
His own daughter. You said no.
Yeah.
What did you say no to, Sith Master Sean? That would BB-8 could swim? Yeah, good. Correct answer. And the film with the best ending music has to be The Phantom Menace, my opinion. 28. The most impressive trailer from Celebration. The video game Jedi Survive. What's it called, neighbor?
The Jedi Survival or Surviving Jedi, something like that.
Survivor. That was crazy good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Cal Kestis returning, more story, and who the hell is in that back of the tank? That woman. Do we know?
Woman.
There was a female in the back of the tank with long hair.
I didn't see female. I saw hair.
Oh yeah, there's me assuming.
Muscle, I think.
Okay, then maybe it was a male.
I don't know. It was real quick.
I don't think I've seen most of the trailers. Like, unless they dropped the Andor one. I saw the Andor one.
Did you like that?
They did.
We have Andor. We have the game.
You know what, Chill? I was just kind of
Andor.
Whatever about it. Like, I didn't. It was one of those things when I saw it, I was like, okay, it looks good. I'm sure the acting is going to be good, but there was really nothing in it that got me excited because I kept thinking, why would you make a show about Andor out of all the stuff you can make a show about?
Same, but they can surprise me.
They could. I could watch it and end up loving
seasons.
it. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, there's already.
I think that's going to be like a live action Clone Wars. That's going to go a long time. They've already got 200 casted named people.
Oh,
not extras. 200.
For
Jared, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys about this. You didn't see it?
Really?
I don't want to spoil anything.
I don't know if you're kidding or not still. There really is a Mandalorian season 3
There really is
teaser.
a Mandalorian 3 teaser, and there's a huge reveal, like a huge thing I didn't want to talk about.
Okay, let's not talk about it because I'm going to live react it with everyone.
And it happens in a blink.
Wait, they have a Mandalorian season 3 teaser?
Yeah. It's
when
the
armor.
The armor is
I haven't seen nothing.
The armor. You answer when? Was it like released today?
Yesterday. It's in a long compilation video.
Okay, so I'm on.
Oh, so they haven't officially released it.
Yeah, it's
no. It's
I'm watching it. I'm watching it right now.
So it's like they drop like a teaser. It's not part of anything else. It's just its own thing.
Neighbor to the North. What are you watching?
I'm watching the teaser.
What's it titled?
What's
it titled?
It's titled Mandalorian Season 3.
But it's not on
Disney
Star
Plus.
Wars.
No, mine says Season 3 2022 teaser trailer Disney Plus.
What day was it released?
Yeah, because I'm like, wouldn't that be trending? I mean,
one day ago. It says 1 day ago.
Okay, now all I see is a video from Star Wars Meg. How about I share my screen?
Like I said, so this was a compilation of hype from Disney Plus, whatever it was, but it happens very quickly.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So they haven't like released an official trailer yet.
No.
Okay.
Wait. Here, 1 hour ago, Movies Madison Entertainment. This is Mad Max's channel, and he says that the footage leak fake.
Not that.
Is this real? Okay, so the words I put were Mandalorian Season 3 teaser, and then I said videos that happened today, and nothing's happened.
The top one said 17 hours ago. Like
this one's
the top
a day ago.
Hours ago.
Oh, here, New Rock says
before you on the last screen.
When?
I'll find it.
Yeah, see the top one says
Mandalorian Season 3 exclusive celebration.
I thought you said you wanted to do a live reaction.
Well, what do you see on my screen right now? Let me move back.
I see Crave right now.
Yeah, who cares? Let's just let's play it.
I just found one with still shots
be a host
of stuff.
Sorry?
I just found one with still shots of things.
Trust me, you want to hear it. Just play it. This is gonna be bad. I gotta find it for you guys.
Let's start at the end though, because I think this will mean the most going forward. We have Bo-Katan talking to Grogu directly. They seem to be alone, and she says to him, "You didn't think your dad was the only Mandalorian."
Wait, am I doing this wrong, Scotty, or should I just?
Yeah. Hold on. Give me a sec.
I cannot seem to find the clip.
I'll tell you what, they better not do nothing to Grogu, because if they do, I'm not watching Star Wars ever again. Like, he better be the safest character in the galaxy.
somebody.
I hate that they hid it inside a hype video.
I think it's because they let's see, we got Obi-Wan going on. They just dropped Andor, so maybe they're waiting until after Obi-Wan is done to drop the trailer for Mandalorian.
The best thing that they could do in season 3 is somebody drop kicks Grogu. That would be
Jaded. I don't understand, my friend. Like, why would you want me to have a heart attack while I'm watching the show?
I'm sorry, Terrence. I hate Baby Yoda so much. My favorite scene was when when Baby Yoda was in the bag and the stormtrooper punched it. Favorite scene in the entire show. Favorite scene.
Okay, so I'm reading the live chat, and you guys are telling me that it is a leaked video. That's why there's no actual clip of it on your show.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was like, how did that drop? And then no one is talking about it.
Okay, hold on, let me get that.
Then maybe I shouldn't do an actual live, hey,
right? Because I'm like, there's a difference between humans that saw it at the celebration and then everybody else in the world knowing about it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I feel you.
Some people said they saw it on Twitter. So
yeah, it's removed. It's gone. Well, okay, I saw it. You guys missed out. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I didn't really miss out because I know we're going to get an official trailer soon. With even
no, but if anybody's not into, or if anyone's into spoilers and doesn't care, you can ask me afterwards. It's pretty dope.
Okay. Sorry, sidetrack the live stream for that little while. No, don't. It's not your. It's fine.
Hey,
they should have wrapped
Star
up
Wars,
Grogu storyline in season 2, but he sells merchandise, so you are totally correct. The way that they ended season 2,
the audience watches is because of him.
It's why people watch. And Filoni said in an interview, and I talked about this during my Kenobi reaction video, review video. Filoni said, "Okay, guys, keep watching Disney Plus. Then we'll get more shows." He wants Grogu in his, shows, Favreau and Filoni. Get that view, get that watch time, and they'll say, "Fine, you want to do Skeleton Crew? Cool. After Ahsoka, you want to do a Bo-Katan show? Here it is." I think that there's a logic to it, not just money and merchandise, but also watch time. Same sort of thing. But the reason to have Grogu back, it makes sense to me. It means I'll get more Star Wars.
Chill. I do like the Mando character a lot. He's awesome. I like him.
I love that Mandalorian lore. I didn't love the Mandalorian lore until the Mandalorian show. Tongue twister.
Yeah.
What question are we on? If we stall a little bit longer here, the Mandalorian panel just started 30 minutes ago. He might get a trailer drop.
I actually want to stop doing this and just watch the Mandalorian panel. No,
I don't think it's. They do the live tweets on the Star Wars page. I don't know what's actually streaming right now.
The
29th stuff they show us. Yeah.
The 29th question of 33 burning Star Wars question is: why isn't George Lucas at Celebration?
He wasn't invited. He lost his invitation in the mail.
He sold the company.
Oh, wow.
He shouldn't have been at it. He probably wouldn't have been at the last one if Carrie Fisher hadn't died and he wasn't doing that presentation with Kathy Kennedy.
Maybe he stayed on the set of Ahsoka while Dave just flew up real quick to go to Celebration.
And we forget that the Ahsoka show is literally filming. They said Manhattan Beach. Terrence, how far is Manhattan Beach from Anaheim?
Oh, I want to say maybe 40 minutes, something like that.
Oh, it's not.
I haven't been to Manhattan Beach, but it's not that far from me.
Okay then.
But
did we get a time frame for Ahsoka or just 2023?
23.
Yeah, 2023.
But no, first quarter 2023. It's just 2023.
If it's filming now, I would expect it exactly 12 months from now because that's how usually things have been, right? We know it's not going to be 2 years from now. That would be weird.
Unless it gets delayed.
Because to answer your question, Chill, because I'm basically smack dab in the middle where a lot of things happen and celebrities like to go and things you're talking about a traffic thing. You can hit a lot of these places from my house in about an hour or less, depending on traffic conditions.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Mandalorian fans in here. Went to a viewing of Bob's Burgers, the movie instead. Wait,
I don't know, Chill, about the George Lucas thing though, man.
George Lucas went to Bob's Burgers though. Hey, is In-N-Out Burger that good, Terrence?
It is. Actually, there's one. There's in and out 10 minutes away from my house. Chill. I kid you not. If you go by that place from 12 p.m. on up, the lines are long as fuck. Like the cars be going out into the street. Like you will take a long time to get food. Like
That's
in and
LA
out.
traffic is hell.
Right, but it's not just that though. It's just the food is good. Like I mean, you can literally get like one of their burgers and it tastes good. It's kind of almost like eating paper. So sometimes you got to get two. The fries are amazing. Like I like McDonald's fries, but In-N-Out fries in combination with that burger, I like going to a different universe. Like I gain new abilities every time I eat at In-N-Out. It's an amazing experience.
29 neighbor to the north. Why isn't George Lucas at Star Wars Celebration?
Because he doesn't. This is a. I'll pass for a second.
You don't want to be negative. He's got nothing to celebrate.
You know what, Chill? I don't know why he's not there. I would imagine that he's busy doing stuff that he wants to do because I guess there's a small possibility that he's not happy with what they're doing, but I don't know. Maybe. I can't say definitively.
I would say he's unhappy with a lot, but he's boys with Filoni, and I would imagine that everything Filoni does, gets on the phone and says, "Hey, you got this thing planned. Oh, what you should do is actually that." And I think that Filoni is still, throwing ideas against George Lucas. I would imagine that's what's happening.
Right.
I think he's probably the only one that is.
I know, isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely bonkers that they could? Okay, he's
still. Well, I don't think it's them. I don't think it's them. I think it's George. I don't think George has trust for anybody but Filoni at this point, and that might be why you only see him on the sets of the Mandalorian stuff.
You know what?
He was burned pretty hard, so
I don't think so. I don't think.
We didn't know he was on the sets of Mandalorian until the Disney Gallery, so he may be also on the sets of Andor.
It's true. It's true.
Very unlikely though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand based off of what Disney has done by and large. Like, I think I understand his sentiments, because he is George Lucas. Even though I don't agree with a lot of stuff that happened in the prequels, I still love that original trilogy. So it's like, I feel like if you're doing anything Star Wars, and regardless of how you may feel about individual projects, like George Lucas being there to me is a no-brainer. I'd be like, yo, where's George? Did George come in? Did you guys give him an invitation? Like, I'd fire somebody if they didn't give him an invitation.
I like to picture my George as like the guy who's not completely jaded by the selling because it was something he wanted in his life, but at the same time, he's sitting back like, man, they should have called me for this. They should have called me for that. Like, imagine Feige. Like, the day Feige walks away from it, he still did 30, 40 movies within that. He still feels very attached to it, Like,
he still did the entire MCU. Like,
yeah, you think no one's gonna call him up and be like, "Yo, that Iron Man shit you did back in 2000, whatever." Like,
yeah, but what after George did to the prequels, what does he have to say about the sequels? Come on.
No, you're right.
No, about like Andor shows and stuff within his part of the timeline.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm running a Star Wars event, out of respect for him, he would be one of the first names where I'm like, we got to have George here. Ask him if he wants to come. If he doesn't, I'll respect that. But it won't be because myself and others did not reach out to him. We ain't playing that game.
Okay. 30. What do you celebrate the most about Star Wars? I would celebrate Jedis, lightsabers, community also. I would celebrate that because it's happening right now. I would have never imagined back when the first time I stepped into Star Wars that I'd be doing a weekly Star Wars, with a panel. Sometimes it's MCU, but like, you know what I mean? The community also. So the fandom is what I celebrate the most of Star Wars, even though the fans fight each other and all that stuff. It's really opinions based on something we all love at the core of it. For the most part, there are some bad faith actors, but the good far outshines the bad. Community and lightsabers. What about you, Jaded Fanboy? What do you celebrate the most? Oh boy. Enlarged.
The creation of this, the existence of this.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Widescreen, original, not the not the enhanced version, but the original ones. This is what I celebrate the most of Star Wars.
What is it? It just says trilogy.
Yeah, it's the original trilogy. It's the
it's a VHS.
Oh shit!
How about
Jaded
that?
is cheating. Holy shit!
It's all 3 movies. It's got from Star Wars to
special
Jedi,
edition,
and it comes with
Jorge Lucas. That's Jorge right there. Look at that
Jaded,
pose.
I am shaking your hand through cyberspace right now, Jaded.
Yeah,
that's sick.
And
oh, there's more.
The
prequels.
Oh
this
shit!
one
What's
right
happening?
here.
We got Star Wars.
The version that
Dang. See, this is why physical media is important. I don't care what humans say. I wanna own certain things. Forget that streaming shit. No.
Well, because the thing is, if you want to see Star Wars streaming, all you're gonna get is the enhanced version. You're not gonna get the actual original version.
I want Han to shoot first.
With all the lousy special effects.
Give me that puppet in Phantom Menace.
I gotta ask Jaded, are you gonna get something else? Because I'm willing to wait. Like if you have something else, cool.
Oh, well,
there's more goodies. Let's see what he's got.
I do have this one.
Oh.
And I do have
all these boxes.
Yeah, special edition. I basically got every version of the VHS of the movies I have.
Look at the glisten every time
it shines. It's just like, man.
Oh yeah, you can't really tell, but this is the reason it's like this. It's a holographic image of the Star Wars.
That's cool.
Holographic. The
corners. It's impossible to tell. I don't know if you can see it, but
I can see it from that angle.
Holographic image.
I see it. Yeah. The corners and edges for the special edition aren't really like they're fine. Are you not touching that one? The one on the right side, or maybe I should say the left side. The left side of you with the Darth Vader on it.
One.
What are those ones?
This is the special edition with the extra.
So you don't use them too much, right? They don't look worn out.
I only ever watched them the one time, right?
The other ones are worn out.
This one's worn out for a specific reason.
You actually use it.
Yeah. So is this one, right? I mean, they're used. Again, I don't watch them as much as I used to, but yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's amazing. Yep. High five.
I'm an original fan. Oh, hold on.
High five.
Yep. High five. Yep.
I'm a fan of the original trilogy. I'm not a fan of the comics. I'm not a fan of the extended universe. That's why I have the movie posters of the original trilogy and none of the other ones.
Okay. So to answer your question, Chill, what I celebrate the most is really just the philosophy that comes with being a Jedi. Just because I like the way that they think. And, at the time when I saw it, when I was a kid, I was like, I don't know any humans that think this way. You know what I mean? They're all very like selfish and emotional. And I kind of just got invested into their way of thinking and the characters and just the mythology as a whole. Like, wow, it would be nice to meet somebody like that. That'd be awesome. And then, of course, with that comes the training with the lightsabers and everything. So really, for me, I celebrate just the characters themselves and everything that comes with them.
Got a favorite character then?
You know what? That's a good question. I kind of go back and forth between Yoda and Darth Vader. Like I have a hard time picking a favorite. But outside the two of them, I do like a lot of the characters, so I can go back and forth. But most of the time, it's going to be either Yoda or Darth Vader between those two.
With me, my favorite character will always be a good guy, so it's kind of Grogu or Din right now. Ahsoka. That's my favorite character. The question was, what do you celebrate the most about Star Wars? And I like what Mike Porter put in there about the communities. If Mike Porter is watching your channel, you're doing the right thing. Scott,
I agree with that. The community is. I appreciate the community in both sides. Like all the haters and all the people who are super fans and everything as well. I think it just makes for, if everyone just had positive things to say, then it's just okay. That's a good set of films. This has struck a chord with so many people that they actually have. We have Jaded Fanboy who has extreme hatred for certain parts of the franchise, and that's evoking so much emotion in people that's what I celebrate most, is that how it touched people in both the a negative and a positive way, and it's actually been talked about. There's not many movies who you draw fandom like that. Right?
I also wanted to add that for me, right, like it never gets to a serious degree where I feel upset or hate anything, because sometimes, like when I'm talking to individuals in the Star Wars community, like when I point out something I don't like and I articulate my thoughts, a lot of times they kind of dismiss it and account it as hate. And I'm just like, no, like I feel like if a person is able to explain to you why they dislike something and it's done in an intelligent manner, the person should not just automatically put it to hate. I'm like, no. But obviously you do have ones that fall into that category, and I feel you can, know it and hear it, like it's just very distinctive in that way. But I feel like conversations are cool, and I really don't care if someone likes or dislikes something as long as they can explain themselves.
And I want to hear why. I want to hear why people dislike.
Oh, I can spend an hour doing that. I can spend an hour doing that. Oh, and Chill, to answer what do I celebrate most of Star Wars? The Star Wars Christmas special, right there.
Nice.
Recorded VHS, love it.
Fourth edition copy, I might add.
Fourth.
Cost me $75 at the time that I bought it.
That's crazy. What's the price of
generation.
It? What was it actually $75 sold in the stores, or
from a guy that I was able to get a bootleg from it from. You can't buy this at the stores. You couldn't buy these at the stores.
Mm-hmm. And you're not getting Clone Wars Season 7 either. That was a Disney Plus original and Disney Plus exclusive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did everyone go?
My most celebrated stuff is fast. I just like to speculate. I like when people are very one-sided, because I like to challenge the status quo with speculation or what ifs. Like one of my favorite recent ones is the Yoda lightsaber, and Charles Soule, the writer of the Vader's comics, responses to it. If the dude who created it can speculate, why can't we? You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at. The things that I hate, I lean towards finding answers to, like explaining it to myself so that it makes sense. It doesn't have to make sense to everybody, but a lot of these stories are untold too. It's like everyone is, you pick a side and you stick to it, but you're picking a side of a story that's not done yet. So I laugh sometimes when people are very serious about this shit, and I'm like, bro, literally the next episode could change everything.
Kenobi, right?
You're
talking about Kenobi specifically?
Yeah, or like even the way
you are talking about Kenobi, hold on a minute. If you are talking about Kenobi, now I've got an issue with Leia meeting up with him. She doesn't say this ever in episode 4. However, this show could end with him going, "You don't remember this adventure," and everything would be tied up.
But now what would?
But that's lazy writing.
It is lazy. You're right. It is lazy writing. But it would be tied up.
Works it. That justifies it. But I'm still calling that out as lazy writing.
I would consider it lazy writing as well. You were saying, Scotty?
I'm confused.
Well, if Leia and Obi-Wan do this adventure, and at the end of it, I've taken you back home, you don't remember me. And
why would he do that?
Because knowledge of Obi-Wan Kenobi could be used against her, like when she's being interrogated by Vader and stuff.
Because she knows he's a Jedi.
Something like that.
Now, because he caught her with the Force.
Yes.
You know what, Chill, though? Maybe maybe I was reading too much into the child actor's abilities and the way that she just brilliantly played that role of young Leia. But I feel like she wouldn't do that, right? Like it would have to be, as you said, a situation where someone is prying the information out of her. Because I feel like even as a little girl, she's one of those individuals where she's like, "You're gonna have to kill me. I'm not telling you nothing."
I think,
and then we know, and we know that she's gonna be fine because she's Princess Leia. So,
yeah. So, like, where my mind goes is,
wait for the show to finish.
But she says, "Obi-Wan, you're my only hope." So she knows who he is. I don't think he would have mind wiped her.
Yeah, because you helped my dad in the Clone Wars.
Well, that's because of the dad. That's the only thing that she knows about.
Call me crazy, but I think he could even reveal to her that, like, there's a deeper thing going on, a deeper connection here. You need to keep my secret a secret.
Yeah, but again, unless there's a scene establishing that, that's a hypothetical, and I don't.
And then also she's Force sensitive, right? Like, I mean, I feel like there's so much that she can do, and then there's a lot of stuff where she doesn't know that she's able to do it, and then we see how she turns out. I feel like you can really play around with how things work from a narrative standpoint. And of course, you don't want to get, too sloppy with it or run into lazy writing. But I feel like because she's Princess Leia, there's only so many things that can happen to her. You know what I mean? So I feel like it'll be fun.
Yeah, like being able to float in space, stuff like
that.
that.
Oh yeah. That was stupid. Trash. But yeah.
The next and final 3 questions. Somebody wrote something in the comment. Let me get to that first. Me, it's was the prequel that got me into Star Wars. Okay, back when you were younger. I was one of those who defended the prequels when the hate was real back then. I always liked the prequels. I've had discussions with, I remember someone who was very anti-prequel, and I'm like, no, you're not going to change my mind.
Oh, if it was me, I have no intention of changing your mind, Chill. It's just...
Oh yeah. Like I have never spoken to a human with the intention of changing their mind, because by often and large, like, humans don't listen anyway, and they're going to maintain their position. So that's not why I conversate. I conversate because it's fun, and I can respect whatever your position is. It has nothing to do with agreeing. Like how I'm on this panel now. I just appreciate the conversation regardless.
Has anybody in here or the chat changed their minds on any prequel stuff based on the filler that we've gotten over the past decade?
Nope.
Because I look forward to the sequel haters that come back, because it's gonna happen.
But like, here's the thing,
episode
right?
2 and 3. I changed my mind over episode 1 after watching it a couple more times.
Okay,
but none of like the shows or Rebels or any of that stuff. Okay,
maybe Obi-Wan. Maybe Obi-Wan, just because they started showing, like, they're showing things that happen, so I might have a little bit more of an appreciation depending on how the next 4 episodes unfold. But nothing really in like recent stuff has really changed my mind. It's just rewatching.
There's no reason to.
I know that's a common thing with humans, like where they can watch something multiple times and change their mind. Like for me, if I like something, I like it always. It's not going to change, and if I dislike it, it's going to stay that way. But when it comes to the prequels, I like the fight scenes. You know what I mean? Like, I would just skip to the fight scenes or just look them up on YouTube or something, because I feel like the fight scenes are lit, and the special effects and the music. It's just that I wasn't on board with the sloppy storytelling. That's all. And then episode 2, I'd be willing to skip that waste of time entirely. But out of the 3, the third movie is my favorite, The Revenge of the Sith. Like, I can get down with that one all day.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good review of Revenge of the Sith. There was one thing that you wrote over here. Was it Mike who said it? She said, "Oh, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi." So wouldn't she know who she is? But she didn't start with, "Long ago, when I was kidnapped, you saved me." She said, "Long ago, you helped my father in the Clone Wars, or you fought for him." So that's what throws me off. But again, how we began this rabbit hole is we only are 2 episodes deep. We have to see all 6 before we can start talking about continuity.
And she only knew him as Kenobi, not as Obi-Wan. So,
but I think Bale is going to hint at that. It's when Obi-Wan returns her is when she'll find out all the history of the Clone Wars and them fighting together. And then the secret, and then I honestly think they could bring her into the fold of the secret because of how smart she is, both politically, like she's gonna grow super fast.
See, this is the problem I have with these shows, is that people are going, this is what might happen in 3 episodes. And it's like, that doesn't work.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part.
What happened?
Fox, you got a good point. You got a good point, because you
see,
saw
because speculation can bring up big points that we can,
in episode 1, in the episodes of Kenobi, he actually goes. Remember when they're going to do the kind of family reunion diplomatic function there, and he was like, you need to go apologize
to your cousin.
Or she was like, you need to go apologize to your cousin, and then he comes by, takes her while she's like staring out the window. It's like, one day you'll be a senator. This is your world, right? Like, he already knows that this is her fate, right? She will be this. There's no fault.
Will be.
Yeah, but hold on. Leia doesn't become a senator. She's an ambassador. She becomes an ambassador.
Yeah, but at the time, but she's 10, right? So
well, that's what I'm saying. It's
the
like
Organas have like big plans for her. So
but again,
of course
it's
they're
like
going to keep her in the loop.
But that's not fair because you're going, oh, because we know in the movies she did this, we're just going to inject it here as if it's somehow this grand theme. It's cheating. It's not original. It's just taking what's already known and going, oh, we're just going to link it because whatever.
So those stories die on the vine then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not with that at all. I don't want any storyline to die on the vine. I want them to constantly be able to add to the characters, develop what we don't know about them until we know everything.
I just think it depends on the execution, right? Because I feel like there's a good way to do it and there's the y'all fucked up way.
Yeah,
and
like
the 31st question of 33.
Like Hawks, did we really need to know that Anakin built C-3PO when he was a kid? Because it's like, oh, look, C-3PO is going to be in another movie, so let's forcibly inject this link.
No, but when Vader sees 3PO and he has that hint of that connection and that callback to his other life, like these things to me are cool.
Oh, okay.
31st question of 33 burning Star Wars questions. After Anakin himself, who is the most responsible for his turn?
Sand.
Obi-Wan tells you himself.
Didn't we ask?
I have failed you. Didn't I ask this last time? You're right.
This is a previous question, yeah. When we were talking about like who's the most
I didn't update it. My actual 31, and if you guys go to the description of YouTube, that's not my 31.
After Anakin,
but yeah, some people weren't
responsible is Sand.
This is
I wasn't
real
here
31.
for that, so.
Yeah, T-Virus, he can answer because he wasn't
real quick. You know what? I would say that it's Palpatine. Like, just because he had a lot of those deep, intimate discussions, and he was really messing with his head, and he knew what he was doing. I feel like Obi-Wan,
him.
Right?
Because he knew what Obi-Wan was doing too.
Right,
he knew that Obi-Wan was trying to sway him one way, and he knew that he could exploit that Obi-Wan's dedication to the Force.
Because, like, I'm not really a big believer on the whole, like, okay, not always in the sense of like, okay, well, you were his master, so it's your fault. It's like, no, like Obi-Wan was doing right by Anakin, but it's like Palpatine was so powerful, so manipulative, so calculative that he was able to get in there and slowly turn him and using the right words to appeal to his negative emotions. You know what I mean? So I would blame Darth Sidious before anyone else, regardless of how much guilt that Obi-Wan was taking on, which is something you're never supposed to do anyway. But yeah.
The Jedi Council is also...
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Because they're the ones that
What about Padme, man? What about Padme? Somebody put it in the chat. Jaden put it or Jared put it in the chat there. Like,
we're not putting any blame on Padme.
She knows that
she was
Jedi
a tease.
Can't do this stuff.
She was a tease, and she knew it.
She was using the power that we know that females can have over guys, right? Like, she used her thing, and then she used her force on Anakin. But I feel like that's not what made him evil. If anything, it made him more smiley throughout the prequels. Like, he was smiling more after Padme.
He was thirsty as hell.
Can we just admit that there's a bunch of people who are trying to exploit a child here?
Everyone.
Like a group of people are from every which way are trying to exploit one single child here.
Whether it's because of a prophecy, whether it's because he was a slave, whether it's because he was in love. Everyone looked at him.
Okay. I guess you can lean towards the they exploited the kid, but I feel like there's a difference between individuals trying to help him for the betterment of everyone, which is what the Jedi were doing. I know the writing was sloppy, but that's what they were trying to do. And then you have Darth Sidious, who was trying to mold him like, you will be my apprentice. We will take over and slaughter everyone. I feel like that's infinitely worse. But
that was question 34 of 34 burning questions. 31. Are you for or against a time skip forward that is over 10 years past the Rey trilogy era? I am not okay with going forward that much. I think if you do go forward, let's just say episode 9 happens here, and maybe a year, maybe 2 years since then, here's where we are in the world. I don't want the new Star Wars trilogy to happen far. I want the new, or not even new trilogy. If they do a series, if they do an animated show or a comic book or anything, we don't have to go forward. Let's keep it in a time period before this most recent Rey trilogy.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like post Return of the Jedi to the Force Awakens, that there's a lot of story in there that we don't know.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, but why not?
It needs to be told, right? Like that's
30, 40 years of just empty time that you could be telling stories. We have the Mandalorian, which is filling in 6 years of that, and the Ahsoka show, also Book of Boba Fett. This is all cooking here. Then let's move forward another 5 years, and then maybe another 5 years. But let's not go 10 years past. What's the Rise of Skywalker? Let's not do that.
No, clearly it didn't work. So, and clearly the Mandalorian's working, right? So why not keep that going?
I'm a very practical man when it comes to this time jump stuff. I don't want it anymore. I don't think it worked, but I also think they were forced. Mark Hamill's 60 years old, bro. You guys wanted your Luke. You wanted your Mark Hamill Luke.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking that's all said and done. And yes, that happened. If we
don't want
to do
time
another
jump,
10 years, though, would you do it again?
No, I don't think they should have done it the first time. But I don't think we would have gotten Luke Skywalker if they did.
Yeah, but Jill, that's not fair because let's say you have a set character, right? If you do,
can I touch on what Scotty just said? I'll get back to you, Jaded Fanboy.
Yeah.
They did not have to go literally 30 years into the future. They could have done 20 years. They could have de-aged Mark Hamill a little bit, which they actually did do in Last Jedi.
For the entire movie, I don't know, man.
Okay, then they didn't have to go freaking from 1983 to 2015. How many years is that? 33 years?
Yeah, they went like 30 years or something.
Well, they could have said 25, and then we could have just said, yeah, just Mark Hamill looks a little bit old, but we'll accept it. Maybe dye his hair a little thicker. And
him training Jedi or something would have been cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't have jumped ahead that many years. I totally wouldn't do that. No. Especially the actors from the prequel era can't just show up in the that time period of episode 7, 8, 9 because
Mace is dead.
Yeah, Mace would be dead. See, that's the thing.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not against any of that. I feel like my position is it just depends on what kind of story they're telling. Because a lot of stuff that might sound like that sounds not that good or that sounds okay. I feel like the mentality on it would change if you get something good or even great. So I think the execution and writing is always the determining factor, even into the areas of you should stay away from that.
There's this opinion to get away from the Skywalkers. I don't know about that one. Release or leak? What are you asking? What are you talking about?
I'm watching the panel.
Jared said that they showed a teaser for Ahsoka at Celebration.
Interesting.
I've been watching the panel. I must have missed it.
I'm seeing tweets describing the footage.
Oh, okay.
No leak or release yet. Just Celebration for now, it looks like.
You know what, Chill, man? I wish they would do like a show or a movie where they focus on the Sith, where there was like a whole bunch of them at one time. I want to see that shit. When are they going to do that?
Old Republic. Jaded Fanboy, you were saying something.
Well, I was just going to say, if you take, let's say Rey was the prequels were a big hit and they did Rey very well and they liked her character. But let's say the next movie ends up being 10 years later. Again, you have an aged character. So in that type of situation, I can understand because it's been so long since they made the next movie that the actor itself aged. And again, you don't have to de-age just because that technology exists. Doesn't mean it needs to be forcibly implemented. So I can see for certain situations, just due to reality that, again, take, the prequels, there was 17 years difference. So you were going to have older Luke, older Leia. So it just made sense. But again, I agree with you that you don't have to jump if you're going to start a new thing. You can just continue with whatever era you already have.
And there's so much time period in between. Let me see Luke in an animated series, train Ben and the rest of them. Maybe one of the kids escaped and he's still around because we need people with lightsabers and force powers.
Or the rise of Kylo Ren. I mean, have that type of
I want that story so bad, bro.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be part of your everyone will like the sequel trilogy plan, huh? That's what's coming, huh, Scotty?
Yeah, because the comic already dude. If you have not read that comic, after you read it, you want to know more about the Knights of Ren. Promise.
I'm sure.
No, good.
I
they
wanted
didn't
to know.
do anything with the film, right? They just kind of like, this is this is Ben.
Bro, now
here you go.
You know what? I thought that at first when I saw Force Awakens, I was like, Kylo Ren is cool, but then they went in the direction they went with them. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that character. Unfortunately, that's a damn shame. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone think I was gonna do I have all these ideas to do edited videos? It's very hard to do them.
I get them too all the time. I was gonna
concept of a video that I wanted to do was Star Wars failing upward with the Luke thing. And just hear me out, because let's say they try to do the whole Luke teaching the temple, etc. 20 years, not that full time jump to where he's really old. And let's say that we're in the spot where we're at now because of that. We're also getting the Shamook treatments of Luke, young Luke with Hamill's voice. We are going to get the best version of a young Luke that we could have possibly gotten. And it is all because they skipped ahead. We hated it. We demanded Luke, and they worked it out. I really think they're going to bring the fans back, man.
Let's remember when we say they worked it out. Jon Favreau pitched an idea called The Mandalorian, and he's competent. Dave Filoni was on that project, and he's competent, and we got Luke. It wasn't exactly because they hated old Luke, we'll give him young Luke. No one at the top, thought that way.
And it was more of an Easter egg, and it was more of a final episode hurrah.
Nah, this has been the plan all along. Ever since the fan outrage and the backlash against Luke, they've been looking for a way to make it work.
All right, then it wasn't all along. It was since
and Shamook is bro, I hope Shamook is getting a bag.
Yeah.
He's saving Luke Skywalker by himself.
I want to get away from the Skywalkers because I feel like Star Wars. No, I'll continue reading. The universe should be much bigger and expansive than everything revolving around one family. It's the fact of the matter is, it does. It's about this guy named Anakin who grows up, becomes Vader, and he's like the ruler of the freaking Empire, the Sheev Palpatine. But he's so integral to everything that he's going to be at the center of each story.
Well, he's more the linchpin. Linchpin.
He's active way more than the Emperor. We were lucky to see him at the World Between Worlds. Come here. That was all he ever did, really. Anakin is my favorite character. I just want to get away from that family for a bit. Nobody asked. Question number 33. Are you for or against the time skip? Did I just ask that one?
Yeah, we are.
No, you just asked it differently.
No,
because the last one you said 10 years,
you
and you said X years.
Okay. It was a different question. Okay. Are you for or against a time skip forward over 10 years past the Rey trilogy era?
We actually don't know if that was a time jump at the end.
I'm foolish.
Where she buries her sabers? We actually don't know if that was a time
technically,
jump.
This is still 33 questions because it was going to be 34, right? But then now that one is going to be tossed to the wayside, it's technically now 33, right?
No, my fault was that I put them in the description properly and I didn't update this properly. This was the question in 32 in the description. If you guys scroll down, you'll see I didn't fuck up that much. The 32nd question was, where on the timeline should Star Wars Episode 10 begin? Episode 10, I think, should begin 3 years after the most previous movie. I don't want to go too forward, but I do want Daisy Ridley and John Boyega to play a part, and Poe, Oscar Isaac, to return and play a part because it is the same universe. I want them to be in it.
Chill. You know, with Episode 10, I would want them to not have them, and then you could bring them back in 11. Like, just kind of give them a little bit of a breather and introduce some new elements, and then if they want to, they can have those characters somehow come across the new ones, and then they have to work together for some kind of reason. I feel like that'd be a good way to divorce yourself from the unfortunate stuff within the sequels, but then you can bring back some of the better elements, if you will, and just have those writers flesh out the things that they should have fleshed out.
Exactly.
In the
We need
sequel
help.
trilogy.
We need help. Rey, let's get Rey, and she'll be in the second movie. But what time period, Terrence? How many years after Rise of Skywalker should this movie happen?
Okay, if I were in charge, I would do 5. I cap it at 5.
5 years ahead. Okay.
Yeah. That sounds that sounds good to me, because it is enough time to where you are far removed from what was happening with John Boyega and Daisy Ridley, to the degree that you could focus on others. But then once the individuals get that, and they might be going like, wait a minute, what about the stuff they set up? What about this? And it's like, surprise. And then, the ending lets you know that, this is how you kind of bring that full circle. And, not so much like, oh no, these characters, these new ones are incompetent. You find a very important narrative reason as to why they need to work together. Because if Rey can just do everything by herself, like she seemingly was able to do, there would be no point to these newer characters. You would just be like, well, there's no intensity, because that this character can do it alone. So you want to create a story to where, no, they need each other. They have to work together. One is not good enough. That's how I do it.
I want to add some stuff to what you were talking about. And I think it's really important that we actually have Broom Kid show up.
Yeah, man.
Make him the main character of episode 10, 11,
exactly,
and 12.
like they did with Anakin in episode 1.
Link up with
I'll be down with that.
Say, you remind me of someone. Not Sky Guy, but Sweep Guy. And then she'll be like, oh, yeah.
He should link up with Cal Kestis if he's still alive.
There's 2 people right there. The video games better be leading to something like that. But who knows whatever Filoni Favreau are doing right now.
What did I miss? Who's that?
The Jedi Fallen Order video game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't know. Okay.
So let's do something with the Broom Kid, because he ended an actual movie, a Star Wars movie. There's only 9 of them, and he ended one of the episodes.
If you don't think that's where they're going, they wouldn't have put Broom Kid in there, right?
You can say it.
They wouldn't have put him in there for no reason.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the video game too. Like, have you guys spoiled the video game here? Does anyone care about it?
I'm not into playing games like that. I usually just play fighting games. So please explain away.
The biggest lore of that is the list of Force-sensitive children that is on the holocron that Vader's been searching for. Cal Kestis, Seer, who is an ex-Jedi Master. She's actually the master of Trilla, who is revealed as one of the Inquisitors, the second sister, and their pilot all decide to destroy the holocron. They're not going to seek out the children. They're going to let the Force decide what has to happen. I think the Force is going to ultimately do that same thing anyways, just lead them towards these Force-sensitive kids. I think it'd be cool. That's what the Soul Survivor thing's going to be about. They're just going to find survivors. This main guy, whoever he is,
and really, they should be going to the Jedi Academy of Luke, but I hope that they don't. I hope most of them don't go there. So I just need my Jedi.
And another thing, Chill, the bad guy has to be amazing. That's right. The villain needs to be like the greatest thing that we have seen since Vader. Like, I'm talking about, like, when we see him, we believe 100% that all these characters are going to die and why they need to be together. I don't want none of this. The villain starts off kind of cool, and then like halfway through the movie, you're like, oh, they give him like the Snook treatment or something weird.
I'm calling it now. The villain, maybe I should clip this. The villain of Star Wars Episode 10 will be a woman who is tall and lanky. She'll have fingernails that are bright violet, and she'll have black hair. She will be a white woman, and her teeth will be pointy, yellow Sith eyes, red lightsaber. And remember how Maul had a little thing that went zoom, zoom? Her lightsaber will also be special. And I'm going to say that her lightsaber, she kicks her lightsaber. Boom.
She looks like Freddy Krueger?
She's got a lightsaber whip.
Oh, like in Visions?
Yeah.
They're just stupid enough to do it.
Now, are we talking about she would be the only one?
I want Darth Talon so badly. That Darth Talon, it's not too late to not give us Darth Talon. George Lucas designed that?
She's an EU character, I think. She was never really like brought into the fold of EU's got some weird shit. I heard someone earlier was like talking up the Old Republic, and I just wanted to be like, well, yeah, but a lot of those writers just did whatever the hell they want. Some of that stuff people hated too. So,
so are we talking about a singular villain, or do we want like a couple of them? Like,
there should be a couple. Rule of 2, baby.
Right. I think they got to double down with these ancient Force shit people don't like, the dyad, centuries old, whatever. I think that the creation of a dyad for the first time in centuries is going to spawn the balance on the other side. And it has to be some, like you said, evil that, bro, doesn't compare to anything we've ever seen before. Earth, like galaxy shattering ripples in the Force.
Because it's not really just a dyad, it's a triad. There's this other thing that you just woke up.
Yeah.
And please make the villain terrifying. Like, because to me, there's a difference between, oh, that character is cool versus like, oh shit. Like, I want to have that oh shit when I see the next.
The Eclipse trailer kind of made me get that oh shit. That guy coming out of the black oil stuff at the end. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Eclipse, is this like a show or movie?
Trailer for a game.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, Jared, I just saw the DM that you sent me about an hour ago of the teaser for Mando, and I'll not watch it now, but thank you for that. I will watch it later.
Yeah, they're like re-showing the trailer for the game. They're not showing any new stuff here today.
I hear the games are amazing, but it's like I just haven't really got too much into the games. I had like one when it was like on PlayStation, but I just haven't really played.
You know what I did, and I'm not embarrassed about it. When it came out and everybody was beating it, I just went to YouTube and watched all the cinematics. Nice. I didn't play the game. I just watched all the cinematics to get the story.
Same here, and I'll do it again.
Cutscenes are awesome to watch with certain games.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's a whole movie.
Star Wars games are amazing. They're like 4 hours worth too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Who wants to answer this one? That didn't. Did you, Neighbor? Did you, Jaded?
No, I haven't answered unless Neighbor to the North has one.
I haven't really answered no, but you go first, sir. I want to
have the higher ups in Star Wars. Okay. Play Knights of the Old Republic, and they would realize, oh my God, we have aspects of Star Wars that doesn't actually require the Skywalker storyline. Okay, Terrence was saying a great villain, I believe it's Darth Malak.
Malagus.
He's pretty good in the game.
Yeah,
play the game. Play Knights of the Old Republic for the love of God. And you'll have and not only that, you have an amazing story. You have an amazing story all on its own. Play the game, get script writers, go, okay, how do we translate this into a film? You got your movie.
So Jaded, would it count if I let somebody play the game for me if I were, making the film and then I just would watch them play, or do you feel you would have to play it?
Again, because it's not an action RPG, it's a turn-based, it's decision making, there's actually decision making trees in that game. It does actually affect, like you could replay that game and you can have different outcomes.
For the love of God, Neighbor to the North, how many years forward in the timeline should the 10th movie in the Star Wars episodic?
So if we're gonna go with Broom Boy, right? He's probably, let's say, like 10. Let's just give the magic number as 10. They seem to find the kids when they're 8 to 10 years old. So then you get them. It would be 5 years if they're going to go episode 10. But I mean, what if they went with episode -3, like prequel? They don't need to go ahead, right? I don't think they need to go ahead.
They could do the negatives.
They're doing the prequel with
the pre-prequel,
Acolyte,
the pre-prequels.
Bro. I mean, 5 years. 5 years for fucking Broom Boy.
Holy. 5 years for Broom Boy. Question 33, the final question of 33 burning Star Wars questions with the panel of me, Fanboy, Neighbor, Terrence, and Holocrons. I invited a lot more people, and I'm happy that these guys did show up. I always overbook, and if I don't overbook, you don't know what happens. One day there will be a panel of like 9 people, and everyone I invited shows up, and it's going to be hectic. But I'm very glad that you guys showed up. 33, why didn't Leia mention Obi-Wan saved her back in Star Wars 1977? Why did that not happen? That should have happened, and it didn't. I'm going with After this adventure, Obi-Wan mind wipes her and says, this is not the kidnapping you're looking for, and she won't remember that this exactly happened, and that's why there's not this plot hole or this gaping hole that she didn't mention it when she was giving the speech to R2-D2, and she didn't mention it when they actually saw each other later in the movie. Oh, it's Obi-Wan. That never happened.
It's a lot simpler than that. It's a lot simpler than that.
Wow, is it more simpler than that?
Easy, because in 1977, George Lucas didn't go, hey, they're going to do an Obi-Wan TV show in 2022, and they're going to reference it. I better make sure I add something to it. How was he supposed to know?
There's no wrong way to answer this question. That was a correct answer.
It is. That is the correct answer, but the correct answer to correct this is either what you said, that that Obi-Wan either like force wipes her. That'd be the easy way out. But I mean, I think that the powers that be and the people involved know that Leia keeping that a secret is beneficial, because if anything, if that message got into the wrong hands and actually was viewed, and it wasn't delivered to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and if there was mention of that they knew each other, they had all this past history, then she'd become even more of a target than just a person being like, okay, I need help, blah, 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 right? So, she has reasoning, they destroyed her homeworld. She's just a person just being like, I'm reaching out to the only Jedi I know is still out there. It's common knowledge out there that Obi-Wan Kenobi is alive. Obviously, we're seeing this in the Obi-Wan series. So
yeah,
her keeping her mouth shut and being smart, she knows what she's doing. And if, for those who haven't watched the show, the first 2 episodes, you see it in her dialogue and the way she talks to her cousin, the way she talks to Bale, and it's like she's wise beyond her 10 years right now. So that's my take.
My gears are turning.
You know what? I don't know why she didn't mention it. Like, it could be a lot of contributing factors. Like, maybe she saw Vader and I don't know, just she couldn't process how amazing he looked, and it just messed up her memory. Like, I don't know, like
messed up her memory. That's another one. She just bunked her head, and she's like, I don't remember the last 2 episodes.
Right, like she saw Vader, and then she was like, oh shit. She tried to run, she hit her head, and the Force tried to regenerate her, but it ended up messing up her memories.
Boom, problem solved. We don't even got to go to your answer, Hawks.
Dope.
I don't mean that.
Oh. No, because my answer is like an answer, but not really. Like in the OT, when does Leia interact with Obi-Wan? Exactly.
Because it's Luke who rescues her.
No, but like when does she meet Obi-Wan in the OT?
Well, the closest she gets to meeting him is as they're running to the Millennium Falcon. Right. She sees him fighting Darth. That's it. But there's no actual.
She has no
actual.
Right. So she has no actual reason to ever bring up Obi-Wan.
There was never a conversation. Weren't they in the trash compactor? Stuck together in the trash compactor? Was that them?
Obi-Wan's never even with her when she's older.
No, because Obi-Wan is trying to get the tractor.
So had she walked into a room and seen him and been like, bro, this guy just saved me when I was 10. How do you know him?
I think maybe he appeared to her in her dreams, and maybe that's how she knows him, because he got to her using the Force. Like, that could be a thing.
I think she's always going to remember him after this.
The closest would have been when Luke rescues her, and he goes, Obi-Wan sent me, and she goes, oh, he got my message. That would be the closest. Would have been
right.
She doesn't at this point. She doesn't at this point even know that Luke's related to her, so she just doesn't have a reason to ever mention Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
I think if they write this show correctly, they can avoid all of that. They can just avoid it.
They could, but then again, Obi-Wan is cool, so she probably heard about him in stories and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's Obi-Wan, yeah, he's amazing.
She would have to meet someone with, like, from the Sentekas, or like somebody that is a Force studying.
The only thing that would have to cover in the show is, why would Leia think Obi-Wan is her only hope? That would be the only thing they would actually have to touch upon.
That's why I brought up the dream stuff. Like, Yeah, that's
Jedi
why I brought
alive.
up the dream stuff. Coming in her dreams.
We know that he was one of the few Jedi that remained. It was Yoda, and then there's a whole bunch of unknowns that they're creating right now in fiction, like
Yeah, what
Cal.
if she sees the transmission?
But she didn't even know about Yoda.
What
so
if she
wouldn't
sees
even...
the transmission from Obi-Wan talking about all the other Jedi and how they should hide?
Or Ghana probably had that in his VHS, just like Jay did. Yeah.
Or what if Yoda talked to her behind the scenes and we just didn't see it? It's like a deleted scene somewhere.
That would be rough.
Again, if it's not in the
people to
movie,
swallow.
it's all speculation. So I don't count that.
Very
Don't put
difficult to
Yoda in
swallow.
here, man. People will lose their shit.
Oh no, hell no, don't do that. I was just throwing random shit out there.
Yeah, no.
That was question 33 of 33 burning Star Wars questions.
I have spoken.
We are now out. Jaded Fanboy, Neighbor, Terrence, Hawks, chill. Thanks for coming. Now I'm leaving. Everyone thumbs up the video. Sub to these guys' channels individually. They all got channels and it's spelt exactly the way they spelt it. And find us. Bye.